He scored 7 tries in his first 6 games.
Yeah.
He got that hamstring injury in Brisbane. Yeah, Tyrell Sloan, obviously, they moved him from fullback to wing, not only because Clint Gutherson came, or mainly because of that, but obviously because of those defensive issues, Dino. So Christian Tuipulotu gives them a bit more size as well right at the back.
Yeah, he does. And MC just said it, the kick returns,
Yeah.
and, the work out of the backfield is something that they'll lean on Christian for. Corey Allen's a really safe option, I think. He's very experienced. He played rep football. He's been around for a long time, and he's a bigger body, so he can take the the hard hits, and he's fine to bring it out from yardage, and defensively he'll make probably a better read. Like Tyrell Sloan, he's got so much excitement when the ball's in his hand.
Yeah.
He's acknowledged, like over the years, that his one thing that he really wants to improve is his defensive deficiencies. He hasn't been able to do that this year with consistency. He is a talent, but really getting over that hurdle for him is going to be the key to playing consistent football and to establish himself as a premium outside back, or at least a winger in the game.
You've had a little bit to do with Jacob Little, haven't you, at the West Tigers?
No pun.
A little bit to do. Would you like to see Jacob Little getting more minutes, maybe starting?
I love Jacob Little as a player. I think his running game is phenomenal. He's one of the best running nines in the competition. He's got a partner who's also a great running nine in Damien Cook. Damien's got that leadership on him. I like the way that they're working at the moment, where Jacob comes on at a point, Cookie moves to that roving 13 role where he's a link man, and he does it so well. He had to play centre last week because they needed a spot filled there, and he's an origin level centre, so he can do that. Jacob Little, running game spectacular. I'd love to see his ball playing sort of evolve a bit. He leans on that running game so
Straight
much.
out of dummy half.
And defensively he can carry his load. So I think he'll create problems around the middle of the ruck for the Warriors tonight if they get loose defensively in the ruck.
Thank you for your text messages. Keep them coming in on 0467920222. Come on, you Dragons. Flano's doing wonders at the club, and we're trending very well. So many great juniors coming through. I truly believe Kyle has done a great job this season, says Dylan in Wollongong. Dino agrees. A good job. I'd agree with a good job, not great. Great. Okay. Well done, Michael. That's so what's that, about 6 out of 10, something like that?
I'll give it 6.5.
6.5. Okay. Hi, Glenn, Dean, and Michael. Hope you're enjoying your evening. It's nice to hear your voices again tonight. Have fun commenting on the game, says Dion. And James in Bendigo, Derek and Ann in Queensland, and also Clint the Paramaniac. Lovely thoughts for Andrew Moore as well. Clint's called him the captain coach of the ABC Rugby League team. He very much is, and we want our captain coach back as soon as possible. Anne has said that she loves Maury and becoming a bit fond of me as well. She says, we've become a bit fond of you after MC, Louis, Gibbsy, Padre, Dendog, Ruan.
I think that's in order.
Hello? Dino. There's no Dino.
That's in order as well.
I think that is in order. And also, thank you to that text message from James saying a huge rap to the NRL commentators after what happened. The replacements have been amazing. Thank you, says James, although he does say Andrew Moore is irreplaceable. We do see James Fisher-Harris out on Mount Smart Stadium now, involved in a traditional welcome, which is being also led by the Ngāti Whātua Orake dancers, and he is involved in this, holding a traditional weapon, and the Warriors team joining him now, and it's wonderful to see the Dragons on the field. It's almost haka style with the Dragons receiving this traditional Māori war dance, and we might just have a little listen in as the Warriors welcome the Dragons in the traditional way to Mount Smart Stadium. Smart Stadium for the New Zealand Warriors up against the St George Illawarra Dragons. My name is Glenn Lauder. I'll be alongside Dean Hallertau and Michael Carianis for this one as round 24 of the NRL continues on ABC Radio. Great to have your company wherever you are listening. You can text in on 0467 920 222. Currently we are listening to the welcome to Mount Smart Stadium, the Ngāti Whātua Ōrike dance group, and also the Warriors captain James Fisher-Harris involved in a traditional, almost haka-like welcome for the St George Illawarra Dragons. Wonderful scenes at Mount Smart Stadium, and the Dragons players in a line walking towards the welcome in the traditional manner as well. It's going to be a fascinating clash between the fifth-placed New Zealand Warriors and a St George Illawarra side that is sitting in 11th spot but has beaten top 8 teams in the last couple of weeks in Canberra and Cronulla. Michael Carianis will get to you in just a few seconds. But Dean Hallertau, who do you like in this one and why?
Yeah, look, it's hard to go past the Warriors at home, but the Dragons, the way they've gone the last few weeks, the effort that they put into their game, so I wouldn't be surprised if they get the 2 points. So I'm going to go for an upset and tip the Dragons. Okay, that'll be 3 top 8 teams knocked off in a row over the last 3 weeks. Andrew Webster's called them giant killers, and Shane Flanagan has extended till 2028 over the last week or two as well. Michael Carianis, good evening to you. He will be looking to make it 3 in a row as they try to make the finals for the first time since 2018.
Yeah, hello, Glenn. Hello. I can't see the Dragons making the finals, right? Like that, the fact that they're in discussions is pretty good for them where they're at, where they were at a couple of weeks ago. But I can't see them making finals. I think the Warriors will win today in a close one. It's going to be scrappy. It's going to be ugly, but I think they're just going to find a way to get the job done.
Thank you, Michael, for getting the name right. We have had quite a bit of commentary change over the weekend, of course. I'm sure most listeners understand that Andrew Moore is recovering after a fairly serious issue this week, having a heart attack, and our thoughts are with Andrew after successful surgery. He's resting up with his family as well. Andrew, take your time, but we can't wait to have you back on deck again soon. 0467 920 222 is the text line. Let's go through the two teams. The Warriors fullback is Tane Tuapiki, and the wingers are Dallin Watney Zalesniak and Roger Tuivasa-Sheck. The setters, Adam Pompey and Charles Nicol-Cookstar. The halves are Chanel Harris-Tavita and Tanner Boyd. James Fisher-Harris is the captain in the front row alongside Jackson Ford, a former Dragon. Wade Egan is the hooker. Leka Halasima is in the second row alongside Marata Niakore, and Aaron Clark is the lock forward. Sam Healy, Eddie Yeremia Tuava, Dimitri Varmonga and Tanner Stour-Smith are the bench players. They are 1 to 17, 1 to 18 in fact, because Freddie Lussick is the 18th man in number 18. Clint Gutherson is the Dragons fullback. Their wingers in 5, Corey Allen, and 22, Christian Tuapolotu. Hayden Buchanan and Matt Fiinge are the centres. Larkin King Tongia and Kyle Flanagan in the halves. Emre Gula is in the front row alongside David Clemmer. Damien Cook is the hooker. Luciano Leilua and Hamish Stewart, the second rowers. And Jack DeBellin is playing game number 250 at lock forward. Jacob Little, Michael Molo, Hame Sele and Loco Pacifici Tonga are on the bench. The 18th man in number 2 is Tyrell Sloan. Todd Smith has gotten us underway at Mount Smart Stadium. He is assisted by Damian Brady and Kieran Irons. Ash Klein is in the bunker. The New Zealand Warriors have kicked towards the right-hand side of your radio dial, the southern end of Mount Smart Stadium. They are wearing their all-white Indigenous jersey, and the St George Illawarra Dragons have first use of the football. They've got it on play 4 through Jack DeBellin, 40 metres away from his own goal line as they head towards halfway through David Clemmer. He has the ball 2 short of halfway. The Dragons playing in their Steelers kit this evening in the predominantly red with the white shorts and the white socks. The first kick of the night is high and long from Kyle Flanagan, and it's taken by Tane Tuapiki. He takes it up over the 20-metre line for the Warriors and is brought to ground about 21 in from the eastern touchline. One off the ruck right-hand side, they go for Dallin Watney Zalesniak. He scored 7 in 7 for the Warriors against the Dragons, the best record by any Warrior in this fixture. He'll be looking to add to that tonight. New Zealand about 11 metres away from the halfway line. They get up and play it through Pompey. They continue short to the right-hand side and end up with Marata Niakore, the former Parramatta player, getting up and playing it about 3 away from halfway. Make it about a metre away from halfway in the end. Egan goes left. They spin it through their hands, gets it away to Chanel Harris-Tavita, and then he continues on that left-hand side. The Warriors on the final play find themselves just inside St George Illawarra territory as Halasima plays it. They go open side right. Tanner Boyd will kick for the first time this evening. It's a high one, and it's taken by Tuapolotu back for the first time since round 11 after that hamstring injury against the Broncos. No score after 2.
Yeah, well, a pretty energetic start from both teams. You can tell there's an intensity about the way they're doing things, both getting through their sets. Yeah, they're pretty conservative sets, but a lot of energy in the way they're carrying the ball.
Hayden Buchanan in game number 2 in the NRL. The Gerringong Junior plays the ball about 30 away from his line. They go to the left-hand side of the field, and it's a good carry by Tuapolotu. He's a big unit, and he has the ball 5 short of halfway. Plays it for Cook to go open side right to gain 250-man to Bellin, and then it continues on there for Hamish Stewart, who incidentally played alongside young Buchanan as juniors at Gerringong. Hamish Stewart's father is coaching the Gerringong side, so a nice one there. And his co-coach is actually Jackson Ford's dad, so that's an interesting one for the Warriors up against the Dragons tonight. 2 Gerringong coaches with 2 sons in the opposing team, and it is the Warriors who have the ball now. They go to the open side right after the final play for the Dragons. The kick went downfield, and it's returned by Adam Pompey, 27 away from his line. 1 off the ruck, open side left. They go to Dallin Watney-Zalesniak again. He'll play the ball about 13 short of halfway. They continue to the left, and here is Ford, the former St George Illawarra Dragon, played 33 games for the club, and scooting out at dummy half is Wade Egan. They go to the left now, and on the field there is jumper number 23. No, it's 13. I was going to say Aaron Clark has the ball. I thought they made a late change there, but Aaron Clark gets up and plays it. They go left for Harris Tavita. He puts a high kick down, and Clinton Gutherson comes up with it. They go open side to the left-hand side, and they will play this ball and start this set about 18 away from their own goal line. No score after 3.5 minutes, Michael Carianis.
Yeah, we just saw the subtleties of Wade Egan's game in that set. The Dragons' markers were just split a little bit, and he darted out and then found an outside man, and it's something they've been lacking in his absence in the past couple of weeks.
Dragons have the ball through Leilua, 30 away from their own goal line. 1 off the ruck goes Jack to Bellin. He takes the tackle with James Fisher-Harris coming over the top. He plays the ball for Cook. Left-hand side he goes, and now Emre Gula has the ball 6 short of the halfway line. A real arm wrestle so far. Final play for the Dragons. Flanagan will kick from just outside his own 40-metre line. It's once again a high, deep one, and it'll be taken by Roger Tuivasa-Sheck, who throws it back in field, and Tuapiki slipped as he tried to take that catch, and then takes the tackle by Hamish Stewart about 23 away from his line. So here's Tuivasa-Sheck now. It was an interesting decision to take the catch and pass originally, but he does get a carry, and he has the ball 30 away from his own goal line. No score between the Warriors and the Dragons. 4.5 minutes gone in Auckland. Glenn Lauder, Michael Carianis and Dean Hallertau with you, and the Warriors have the ball left-hand side through Harris Tavita, taking it up over halfway. Text line welcome 0467 920 222. They go left through Roger Tuivasa-Sheck, and he'll take the tackle 35 away from the Dragons line. Arguably the best field position that either side have had in this early exchanges. The first 5 minutes, Tanner Boyd will put the high bomb up. Gutherson has plenty of time to take it comfortably, and he'll take the tackle 15 away from his own line. Still no score after 15.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of speed in the ruck at the moment. Both teams getting joy playing the ball quick. Usually we're seeing a marker down or a player down getting back to the defensive line slow, which means it's opening up those opportunities for the likes of Wade Egan, and Damien Cook, if he sees another one, might take a dart out. So one thing they're going to have to tidy up is just their defensive control, both teams.
So Hamish Stewart plays it on the 30-metre line. Cook at dummy half goes left to Bellin, then quickly through hands like King Tongia, and ultimately ends up with a break down the left for Matt Finger over the 40-30. He's got Warriors in front of him, but he's got Dragons next to him. He goes to throw the pass. It goes in front of Lycan King Tongia, who loses the ball. Matt Finger was away, but he didn't know what to do. About 10 metres away from the line, he had one on his left, one on his right. He decided to throw it back on the inside, but there were Warriors all over him, and Matt Finger knows that he probably didn't do the right thing there, Dino, as the Warriors get a 20-metre restart.
I don't think he threw it back on the inside. He threw it in front of himself. Yeah, it was a really awkward play there from Finger, and you're right, he had way too much time to think about it. He was looking left, he was looking right, he had lots of support. Picky was backing right off, so he was buying time for his defence to round things up either side. He should have just gone down with the ball once he decided not to pass it in the first instance.
Yeah, the issue was as well, Christian Tuipulotu just couldn't go with him in his first game back with that hamstring, and he just didn't have any explosivity.
He just had the ball, like, he had it in his hands, and he goes, I'm going to get tackled, I'll throw it. As the Warriors get the ball back, they're on halfway now, and they're starting to make a way into the Dragons' half. They have the ball through near quarter. He plays it in centre field. Aaron Clark goes on a good, strong run up over the 30-metre line. He's 29 away from the Dragons' line, but it's the final play for the Warriors. No score after 7. They come open side right. Tanner Boyd's at first receiver to put the high kick up in the air, and Tuipulotu will have to try to take this one under pressure. He does. It's a good take by Tuipulotu, and he will play the ball 13 metres away from his own goal line. Up the Dragons crushed them, says James in Bathurst, and the Dragons are trying to do that, but at their own end at the moment. Matthew Fiinge has the ball about 17 away. As they try to get away from their own red zone, they have the ball through Buchanan, and Hayden Buchanan, who scored on debut, will play the ball, and they go open side left, one off the ruck, seeing Leilua take the ball up towards the 40-metre line. Quick play the ball, left-hand side now for Clint Gutherson to look to break the line, and he's taken potentially over the horizontal. Todd Smith says it was okay, and now Todd Smith, I thought I heard the whistle blow there, but he didn't, and it was the final play, so they put a high kick up in the air. Geez, I thought that was close to a lifting tackle for the Warriors, but they got away with it, and now they had the ball back. No score after 8 minutes at Mount Smart. MC.
Yeah, you weren't hearing things there, because I thought there was a whistle as well. So, but yeah, nice. Well, the Dragons are doing well at the moment. Their kick chase has been really good. Their kicks aren't really producing results, but their kick chase has been outstanding.
Dylan Watene-Zelezniak is held in a good tackle, I was going to say, but he gets an offload away. Chanel Harris-Tavita keeps it alive for the Warriors. They're over the 40-metre line, only 9 away from halfway. Getting up and playing it is Nickel Cookster. They go to the left-hand side. They got the Dragons on the back foot here. Harris-Tavita changes direction from left back to right, and Tuipulotu will take the tackle 5 metres inside Dragons territory. Gets up and plays it for Wade Egan. One off the ruck, left-hand side, Fisher Harris. Fisher Harris is 35 away from the Dragons line. On the final play, Wade Egan leaves it at dummy half, and the referee has decided it was an incorrect play the ball by James Fisher Harris, losing the ball as he was getting up to play it, and I don't think they're going to decide to challenge this one. It's a pretty messy play the ball. He almost like backheels it, and it goes way past Wade Egan.
Yeah, right call there from the referee. It was messy from James Fisher Harris. I think he dropped it first, and then he just rucked it back way too far with his foot. But look, I mentioned before about just how loose the ruck looks defensively, and that's continued. We've already seen a clean line break through Fiinge, and now the Warriors through that set, they had a lot of joy out wide. There's a couple of opportunities back through the middle. So again, really open for. I feel like it could burst open this game.
Here's Leilua, 11 short of halfway, thanks to Barnaby from Toowoomba, watching the sunset, listening to the call. Dragons in a blowout, and Warren from Blacktown is tipping the Warriors by 14. Thank you for your text messages. 0467 920 222. Here's the Dragons on halfway. Flanagan changes direction, gets it away to Buchanan, and now they do get a penalty here, the Dragons. Hayden Buchanan is met high by James Fisher Harris, and Todd Smith's going to call timeout. Let's have a listen. Not going to have a word to James Fisher Harris. The penalty is sufficient, but just see here, not only does Buchanan go straight over the top of Tamati Martin, but then Fisher Harris, Dino, gets him as he's going down.
Yeah, obvious decision there for the referee, and a couple of moments here for Fisher Harris to invite the Dragons into a good ball territory. This is going to be a good test of their defence.
A great kick for touch. They find it 10 metres away from the Warriors line, so a really good opportunity here for the Dragons to get first points. No score after 10. Here's Hamish Stewart, plays the ball 3 away. They go to the left-hand side through Jack DeBellin, one off the ruck. He takes the tackle, centre field, 4 away from the Warriors line at the northern end of Mount Smart. Cook out of dummy half comes left. Flanagan changes direction for Emre Gula, close to the line. Emre Gula got over the line against his former club, Canberra, a few weeks ago. Can he score again here? He can't on this occasion. They spin it to the right. They've got numbers on the right here, the Dragons. Buchanan didn't pass it to the winger. Instead, he comes back inside. He had Corey Allen on his outside. but he takes the tackle a metre away from the line. They come to the left. Flanagan gets it away to Liking King Tonga. Dummies goes himself into traffic, and he'd be taken to ground. No, held up. About 11 away. Final play for the Dragons. 11 short of the line, no score. Cook, left-hand side. Flanagan looks to put Matt Fiinge through a hole, and he does successfully. Matt Fiinge scores the try, his third of the season in just his 5th game, and the Dragons close to the line make the Warriors pay. They lead 4 points to nil after 11 minutes. Dean Hallertau.
Yeah, well, good play there from the Dragons, but they get down there through the error, then the penalty, which invites the Dragons to play some good football. There was a real opportunity there, right, and you called it, Glenn. It goes out, Buchanan shuts it down. He should have passed to his winger, but nevertheless, they get back into their structure. They move it to the middle of the field, then to the left, and Flanagan does well here. Last play, he loops around the short side. He signals to Damien Cook, give me the ball. You think he's going to drop it on the toe and put it through behind the line, but there's a bit of a mismatch there, or a good line run, I should say, by Fiinge, and then Tane Tuapiki as the last line of defence can't do anything to stop him getting over and putting the ball down to open the try scoring.
He timed that pass really well just to draw in Tanner Boyd, MC.
Yeah, a couple of good touches there from Kyle Flanagan. You mentioned Hayden Buchanan. Well, it was a Kyle Flanagan pass which created the space on the outside, on the right-hand side. Then he comes to the left-hand side and throws a beautiful pass for Fiinge. So some really good touches there from Kyle Flanagan.
That Fiinge missed out on that Cronulla game last week with a groin injury, but he's back with a try. He was the club's top try scorer back in 2022, and after a frustrating season with injury, that broken leg and ankle syndesmosis back in round 7, Matt Fiinge has scored his 3rd of the campaign. 4 points to nil with a kick to come. The Dragons lead the Warriors. Kyle Flanagan with the opportunity to add the extras from about 7 or 8 metres in from the western touchline. He's kicking at 74% this season, 25 from 34. This one is among the more difficult ones, but still inside that 10 metres of the touchline. On his good side here, he can hook the right boot around. Flanagan moves in, strikes it. He doesn't hook it enough. Is unable to add the extra, so it remains 4 points to nil. The Dragons leading the Warriors. Thank you for your lovely text messages from old mate at Yamina, hoping for a rapid recovery for Maury, as is Mandy and Cole in Grafton. They also say up the Waz, and Mandy says up the Waz and Cole says go the Red V. Thank you for your text as well, the Charmhaven Shark, wishing Andrew a quick recovery as well. 0467920222. Oh, this one's just come in, listening in a taxi on the way to Colombo Airport in Sri Lanka on the way back to New Zealand up the Waz. Thank you, Nige. Safe trip back to New Zealand. I hope you've had a wonderful time in Sri Lanka. And loving the call. Hopefully the Warriors get up, says Charlie in far north Queensland. Keep them coming. The Dragons first set after points have it through Clemmer, and he takes the tackle. From the subsequent play, they go to the left-hand side, and Corey Allen has it 27 away from the line. Cook at dummy half. Left-hand side for DeBellin, gets the offload away back to Cook, and then keeps it alive for Flanagan. Flanagan's met in a pretty strong tackle with Jackson Ford going low, and then Tamati Martin coming over the top. I beg your pardon, Chanel Harris-Tavita coming over the top. No Tamati Martin tonight, of course, for the Warriors. The Dragons go to the left. Luciano Leilua has it about 2 metres away from the halfway line and about 17 in from the western touchline. Cook continues open side right, links up with Flanagan, and then on it goes to Emre Gula, held up in the tackle on the final play, 8 metres inside Warriors territory. Larkin King Tongia puts the high kick up in the air. Dallin Watney Selesniak is providing cover for Tane Tuapiki to take the ball about 14 away from his own goal line and 17 in from the western touchline. 13 and a half, or almost 14 gone now. The Dragons leading 4 points to nil through that try to Matt Fiinge, and the Warriors have the ball through Wateni Zelezniak about 19 away. They spin it from right to left now. Numbers over here and a bit of space for the Warriors. Nickel Cookster takes it about 27 away from his line just to get the Dragons defence sliding, and now Roger Tuivasa-Sheck gets some good post-contact metres to take the ball to within 10 metres of the halfway line. They get 6 again here, the Warriors. Emre Gula was slow to get off, and now they'll be able to start this new new set through Egan, about 3 metres short of the halfway line. So can they find their first points of the evening? The Warriors trying to avoid a 4th straight loss. This is bad. James Fisher-Harris's knee has absolutely whacked one of the Dragons players. Jack DeBellin in game 250.
Both of them.
Yeah.
Both of them. So I think they must have had a head clash
They
there.
may have looped around the back of the tackle there.
But they're both not good at all.
Yeah, James Fisher-Harris's powerful legs. Let's have a look at this.
Yeah, around the back.
Oh, yeah.
Head clash,
So
low.
both players are trying to do exactly the same thing on one side, on each side of James Fisher-Harris. One goes around his legs on the left, one goes around his legs on the right, and at the back of James Fisher-Harris, both heads just absolutely slam into each other. So worrying signs for Shane Flanagan, and of course worrying signs for the two players, hoping that they're both okay. But of course, you know, if both players are ruled out with HIAs, it obviously throws a huge spanner in the works for their bench rotation. And when you look at their 18th man, they've got Tyrell Sloan.
Yeah, well, it activates Sloan straight away then, but that doesn't really help him in that situation because, well, he's definitely not going to come out and play in the middle of the field.
Pilotu will probably have to move inside somewhere.
Well, you've got Michael Milo who can play big minutes and has done that in the past. So you'd expect him to come onto the field, and Hame Sele as well. He hasn't had a lot of first grade, but that's a big blow for the Dragons. Sammy Stewart's an 80-minute player, and Jack DeBellin can get through a huge amount of work as well in his 250th game.
Yeah, Hame Sele's only played 3 games this season, limited minutes as well. Michael Molo's only played 5 games this season, 4 games last year as well.
And the concern is Luciano Leilua is not really an 80-minute player. David Clemmer's age in it, you know, he's played big minutes in the past, but, you know, and Emre Gula hasn't pumped out big minutes at all.
And then the other player on the bench, Loco Pacific Tonga, he's only 6 games into his NRL career, so
not a big minute player yet, Lockie, and he's a big lad.
So that's the concern from the two biggest, the two players that play the most minutes could be gone.
Damien Cook might have to
100%
fill in as a middle.
Yeah, Jacob Little will have to come on the field, and Damien
that will happen
play at 13.
That will happen for sure, because those guys that are on the remaining forwards won't be able to go to the distance for the Dragons.
Hamish Stewart started that game last week against Cronulla, and obviously Jack DeBellin, we know how many minutes he can get through. So they've both come off the field, and we are going to see Michael Molo and Hame Sele go onto the field at this stage, and we'll see obviously what that does to the team as we go on. But yeah, Jack DeBellin this season has played, you know, upwards of 55, over an hour in most games, and once again Hamish Stewart is a similar player as well. So this is going to be a big test, not only for the St George Illawarra Dragons, but also off the field in terms of how they try to manage their bench. With still 65 minutes left in this game, is going to be very, very difficult. We are back underway with those changes made, and Hamish Stewart and also Jack DeBellin going off for HIAs with that pretty ordinary looking head clash. The Warriors have the ball about 11 metres inside Dragons territory. They go open side left, Aaron Clark. It is 4-0, the Dragons leading the Warriors after under 15 minutes with Michael Carianis, Dean Hallertau. I'm Glenn Lauder. Left-hand side, the Warriors go. Tanner Boyd tries to put a teammate through a hole, but he loses the ball as he was flying through there, Halasima, and the Dragons will pick the ball up through Clemmer. Tanner Boyd's pass was good, but Halasima was flying onto it, and he couldn't control the ball as he ran into Kyle Flanagan. So the Dragons will come away from their own end. They have the ball on the field through Hame Sele, and Shane Flanagan is watching this one, Ricky Stewart style, down on the touchline, and he'll be concerned about what the Dragons forward rotation can come up with this game, with still, as I said, over 60 minutes to go. They have the ball through Tuipulotu. He plays it for Cook, open side, one off the ruck, right-hand side. They get over halfway, the Dragons, with a 4 points to nil lead. Getting up and playing it is Gula. Left-hand side, Cook out of dummy half for Gutherson, gets it away to Leilua, and Luciano Leilua takes a few Warriors players, including down low near quarter, to about 35 away from the Warriors line. They go open side right for Laikin Tongia to put a high kick up in the air, and it's taken well again by Tuopiki. One-on-one tackle brings him to ground through Kyle Flanagan, with the Dragons leading 4 points to nil after 16, Dino.
Yeah, one thing you're going to see a bit here is that Warriors look to go early to their outside is Clint Gutherson. He loves these situations where the team's under the pump, and he'll try and inspire them with the move. Looks to be a lost ball here to the Warriors, so the Dragons will get some attacking football.
Yeah, they spin it from right to left. It ends up with Halasima, and as Halasima went to ground, it almost looked like a rugby union ruck where he tried to put the ball on the ground for someone to come and grab it off him. But it's a lost ball from Halasima, and good defending seen by the Dragons as they had to slide from their left to the right, and the Dragons will get the ball back in pretty good position here, Michael Carianis, with a 4-0 lead.
Yeah, they will, and that's off the back of some really good defence, and they've defended really well so far, the Dragons, particularly, as I said before, their kick chase. Kyle Flanagan timed that tackle perfectly onto a peaky and got the result.
So they go open side left after the scrum win. 29 away from the Warriors line, and they advance the ball up towards the 20. Getting up at, well, they're going to get 6 again here because Tanner Boyd is not getting off Matt Fienge, and they do get the 6 again as Clemmer starts this new set about 15 away from the line centre field. To get up and play it for Cook. Open side right they come, and Flanagan links up with Clint Gutherson, who's met in a pretty good tackle with Fisher Harris coming over the top alongside some help from Egan. So Gutherson plays the ball 12 away. One off the ruck left-hand side. They go Hame Sele centre field, 6 away from the line. Cook comes right out of dummy half now. Flanagan's first receiver. Another set of 6 for the Dragons, but they might not need it. The ball goes right-hand side. Corey Allen scores, but it's a forward pass. The last pass to Corey Allen is called forward. Kyle Flanagan is saying that we should come back for a penalty for the 6 again because there was no advantage, but Gutherson threw it to Buchanan, and Buchanan's rushed pass to Corey Allen was well and truly forward at that final play. Michael Carianis.
He steps in the sideline anyway, so some work there, good work there from Roger Tuivasa-Sheck. So it would have been no try, but definitely a forward pass, but just shows again how threatening the Dragons have been with the ball.
And Todd Smith has decided that there was enough advantage from that set restart not to come back for the penalty, despite Kyle Flanagan's protestations, and the Warriors will have a scrum feed about 10 metres away from their own goal line. Wilf Williams is listening in Canterbury in the UK. My wife prefers your commentary to music on BBC Radio 3. Well done, Jack de Belin on 250. Well, probably not good news from Jack de Belin because he might be out of this one with an HIA. He's already off the field getting his assessment, and I've got to say, Wilf, I absolutely love Canterbury. Some days down at the St Lawrence ground watching the mighty Kent, so thank you for your text message. The Warriors have the ball 30 metres away from their own line. James Fisher-Harris in centre field gets up and plays it for Egan. Open side right they go through the hands of Tanner Boyd, and they have the ball finally over on this side by Murata Niakorte, the western side of Mount Smart Stadium, and Tanner Boyd goes on a run. He finds himself 18 in from the touchline and about 5 inside Dragons territory. It's the final play, so Aaron Clark has to put up a high bomb. Corey Allen comes in off his wing, takes the catch, and he's met in a strong tackle. 23 away in centre field. The Dragons leading 4-0 over the Warriors. We've had just over 19 minutes gone. Later, of course, the Roosters at home to the Bulldogs, and Brett Sprigg will be bringing you all the action a little bit later on, so don't adjust your dials. Plenty of rugby league still to come here on ABC Sport. David Clemmer has the ball for the Dragons, 11 short of halfway. Open side left they go for Emre Gula, and he backs into traffic before taking the tackle 4 short of the halfway line. Cook's waiting at dummy half. He comes to the left-hand side, flat pass to Gutherson, keeps it alive for Laiken King Tongia, and he takes a heavy tackle, driven back by 3 Warriors, about 3 inside Warriors territory, but there were afters on the ground. The Warriors were too excited about how good that tackle was, and they've given the penalty away, and it means that the Dragons will be able to kick for touch just inside Warriors territory after Adam Pompey gave Laiken King Tongia, 4 on the deck, Dino?
Yeah, silly penalty here, and it's just a subtle one there, cheeky one from Adam Pompey trying to get under the young player's skin, picked up by, no doubt, the touch judge, I should say. So the penalty, again, invites the Dragons down. The Warriors, when this sort of happens, when a team's down and they're against it with a lack of numbers, you don't want to start doing silly things and think that the points are going to come easy. You've got to play more controlled.
And obviously the Dragons want to be able to maintain possession because they need to make sure that they don't fatigue too much with a limited rotation. They have the ball 8 metres away from the line. They go to the open side right and then change direction for Emre Gula back towards the posts. He's 5 away. They lead 4-0. Cooks at dummy half, left for Flanagan. Keeps it alive, King Tongia out the back for Fienge. Dummies goes himself, scores. Matt Fienge sells the Warriors. A massive dummy there to Tuipulotu. They all move towards the Dragons winger, and Matt Fienge goes straight through a yawning gap, and they lead 8-0. There's hands on hips for the Warriors. They can't believe it. The Dragons leading 8-0 with 21 gone.
Yeah, hands on hips, and their right edge defence, the Warriors, they just gave too much respect to the outside men for the Dragons. Really nice play on the inside. Kyle Flanagan gets deep into the line, throws the sweep play out the back to Kintongia. He throws a really nice pass out to his left, and when it gets in the hands of Finga, he sums it up perfectly. He knows he's got Adam Pompey on the outside, so it's going to be a legs tackle at best. He throws the dummy to his outside man until Pilotu, which engages the winger, the defensive winger for the Warriors. He just slices through only a couple of metres from the line. He gets his second try for the night. Really sharp play there from the Dragons.
Yeah, Dallin Watene-Zelezniak was sold there. It was a really nice move from Matt Finga, MC.
The interchange of passing for the Dragons this evening has been outstanding. It's slick. It's been really, really good. But, you know, it's the inside man, Adam Pompey, I think it is, gets caught drifting in and just allows Finga too much room on the outside. And just some confirmation that the Dragons, those two players are both gone for the game. Hamish Stewart, Jack DeBellin, Category 1 HIA, so they won't be back, which enables Terrell Sloan to be activated as 18th man.
Yeah, there's no real surprise there. It was a sickening head clash between the two teammates. Kyle Flanagan with an opportunity to make it 10 points to nil. This one a little bit easier than the previous one. He missed one from about 70 in from the western touchline earlier, and the positioning here is about 9 metres in from the western touchline. So slightly better, and maybe the radar after the first miss might help him here as Kyle Flanagan moves in and slowly prepares himself to strike it. This one's much better. He adds the extras and they lead 10 points to nil. 0467 920 222 is the Warriors season imploding. Well, it's hard to disagree with that text message at this stage. Thank you. Best wishes for a healthy return. It says 1 degree in Townsville. Andrew will appreciate that. Wise Hamesele only played 3 games. He's great. Souths should have kept him. Thank you for that text message. He's had a few injuries. He obviously had a calf injury, had a hamstring injury, and of course Hamesele's had that horrible heart condition over the last couple of years as well, Dino.
Yeah, he's had a number of injuries that have sort of disrupted his time on the field. He's a wonderful player when he gets out there. He's quite strong, a good carry, and very sound defensively. He's going to be having to play a few minutes tonight, so this will test him.
Thank you, Rog at Storm King. Really enjoying the call. Very best wishes to Andrew. Not surprising he's loved so much. He gives so much everything. And go the Doggies. Thank you very much for that, Rog. Around the grounds in the AFL, Richmond leading Sydney 8 points to... No, the Swans have just kicked a goal and they lead the Richmond Tigers 9-8. Michael Carianis, the goal umpire, is excited about that one. The Dragons with the ball after points, and they had the ball through Allen, 25 away from their line. One off the ruck, open side left for Emre Gula. Takes 3 Warriors players to put him down, and they do so, but Damien Cook isn't happy with it, and nor is the referee. James Fisher-Harris gives another penalty away. It was a lift in the end to put Emre Gula down, and the Dragons another penalty and more ill discipline for the New Zealand Warriors 30 metres away from their own line. James Fisher-Harris just lifts Emre Gula's leg up and gets him past the horizontal there as he puts him down, Dino.
Yeah, look, it's always hard when you go for a single leg like you did there and lift so high in the air. It wasn't a lot in terms of force when he hit the ground. He also had that other leg pretty much in touch with the ground the whole time. So frustration there from the Warriors skipper.
Here's Tui Pilotu has the ball for the Dragons, 13 metres inside Warriors territory. A reminder that Hamish Stewart and Jack DeBellin in game number 250, both of them lasted just 15 minutes before a sickening head clash saw them ruled out of the game. So the Dragons are now down to 16 players with Tyrell Sloan activated as the 18th man. They had the ball 30 away from the Warriors line. They shifted to Matt Finga, who's already got a double so far. He takes the tackle 20 away from the line. Gutherson scoots out of dummy half, and he has Hamesele in support, who straightens on his run and finds himself 8 away from the goal line, 21 in from the western touchline. He gets up and plays it for Cook. Open side right. King Tongia tries to change direction with Clemmer, but he throws the pass to nobody. It's been touched by a Warrior, picked up by Clinton Gutherson, and 6 again for St George Illawarra. So a poor pass ends up with another set for the Dragons. They come open side left, one off the ruck for Clemmer on this occasion, who does get the ball in his hands, and he's held up in the tackle 4 away from the line. Cooks at dummy half, right hand side King Tongia tries that little change of direction again. This time Emre Gula's ready for it, and Gula takes the straightening run about 6 away. Cook scoots himself out of dummy half towards the left, gets it away to Hamesele, who backs into traffic and is held up 2 away, right underneath the sticks at the northern end of Mount Smart Stadium, with the Dragons leading 10-0. Long ball out of dummy half to King Tongia, keeping it alive to Leilua. 4th play for the Dragons. They're 7 away from the line and 10 in from the western touchline. Gutherson's at dummy half, right for King Tongia. Back on the inside for David Clemmer again, and Clemmer's 8 away from the line. The goal line defence holding firm here. They've got one play to keep the Dragons out. King Tongia goes right. Kyle Flanagan is absolutely whacked by Janelle Harris-Tavita. That is a great hit from the Warriors number 6, and flattens Kyle Flanagan to wrap up the set and get the ball back for the New Zealand Warriors, about 13 away from the line. What a hit there to end the set, coming quickly out of the line there, Dino.
Yeah, it was a huge hit, and Chanel Harris-Tavita's got some pretty strong shoulders. He's known for throwing himself into contact. It's against a smaller man in Kyle Flanagan, but really effective to end the set there for the Dragons. He shoots up, and it was an all-or-nothing play. If Flanagan gets the time to take a bit off his run and find a man on the outside, then they probably get some joy. But the trainers out there now with Flanagan, a few boos from the crowd. Maybe they thought there was a bit of gamesmanship there for some head contact, but nothing doing from the bunker, and the Warriors roll on.
Yeah, definitely nothing wrong with that hit. It was a great shot, and a higher risk play as well, because he shot out of the line. If he didn't connect, the Dragons might have had an extra player, but really big play, and the Warriors got around Harris-Tavita after that. They knew how important it was. The Dragons leading 10-0. The Warriors with the ball 28 away from their line, and they shifted to the right-hand side. Almost getting through was near Corte, but Matt Fiinge does well to bring him down on the halfway line. 5 in from the western touchline, so they go back open side right, and on the field is Tanner Stowers-Smith for the New Zealand Warriors, playing just his 9th game in the NRL. Plays it for Egan. Left-hand side, Harris-Tavita back on the inside for Dimitri Valmunga, and Valmunga has the ball 30 metres away from the Dragons line in centre field. They can't clear the ruck here, the Dragons. It was played at, and they get 6 again for that ruck infringement, and they get up and go again, the Warriors, but the referee says no. Jackson Ford was held, so you can't keep going. You have to go back and play the ball on the 20-metre line. He does so. Egan's at dummy half, one off the ruck, left-hand side, Valmunga, and Valmunga's held up in the tackle, 12 away centre field by Clemmer and Gula. He'll play the ball for Egan, scooting out at dummy half, looking to catch the markers offside, and they definitely were. So they get another set here, the Warriors. They're 9 away from the line, centre field, full set at the Dragons. They trail 10-0, getting close to the line, trying to barge over, but losing the ball. I think it was Jackson Ford with plenty of Dragons around him. So they've lost the ball over the line, the Warriors, with a full set at the Dragons, and St George Illawarra will be able to get back to the 10-metre line for the ball back, a scrum feed, after trying to see off wave after wave of Warriors attack, and the Dragons still lead 10 points to 0 after 27, Dino.
Yeah, great play there from the Dragons defensively, and it looked as though Ford was going to push his way over the line. He can't help himself here. He tried to reach the ball out. Clint Gutherson coming over the top to try and finish him off, and the ball comes loose. They have a shot to their right, the Dragons, see if they can make any extra metres, but it was lost over the line, so they come back for a scrum right in the middle.
Huge let-off for the Dragons, and real opportunity missed for the Warriors with 3 repeat sets there. They're not able to capitalise, and Kyle Flanagan will feed the scrum for Cook. They go to the left-hand side, and coming away from their own end, and Tuapoloto will take the tackle 15 away. Like in King Tongi is waiting for it at dummy half, and then one off the ruck, Matt Fiinge takes it up over the 20-metre line. He's brought to ground by 3 Warriors, including Vaimunga, 21 away, 20 in from the western touchline. The Dragons leading 10-0, and they have the ball through Hamesele, who's put to ground by 3 Warriors, 27 away in centre field. Third play for the Dragons. Cook comes out of dummy half, links up left-hand side, and the Dragons are getting towards the halfway line. They're about 14 short. Getting up and playing it is Pacifici Tonga for the Dragons. They come back to the right-hand side, and Clemmer tries to get a quick play the ball just short of halfway. He does so. Cook out at dummy half, goes right for Kyle Flanagan. High kick up in the air, taken comfortably again by Tuapiki on his own 20-metre line. He returns into traffic. Still trailing 10-0 the Warriors. We've had 29 gone, MC.
Yeah, it's a big period for the Dragons now, because the Warriors are starting to bring some fresh troops on. The Dragons have turned to their bench, as well as Pacifica Tonga coming onto the field. But, Clemmer's still out there. Luciano Leilua's out there. Players that will probably be getting a break, particularly Clemmer, around this point of time.
Tuivasa-Sheck plays the ball 15 away from halfway. This is a good, strong run from Darlan Watene-Zelezniak, and the Dragons player on the the ground. It's Hamesele who looks in all sorts of trouble here. The Dragons trainer has come straight on. There is real concern for Hamesele, who is whacked there by Darlin Watene-Zelezniak. He gets his head in an awkward position down near the hip as he looks to effect a tackle, and that one almost looked worse than the head clash, Dino.
Yeah, he won't be coming back from what we just seen there. Hamesele, he shot straight into the hips there, as you said, of Darlin Watene-Zelezniak. Fairly aggressive attempted tackle there, and I think the vision was quite not damning, but it was quite obvious there when we watched it. So it's a very tough first half here for the Dragons, and they're going to have to reach deep at the moment, but obviously concerned for all three players for what they've experienced there. The Medicab is already out in the field. The orange shirt trainer there for the Dragons is maintaining some support for his head and neck as the rest of the medical staff attend to him.
Yeah, there is huge concern for Hamesele on the deck there for the Dragons. This will be quite a production to be able to get him off the field safely. And just while they were doing that, MC, I noticed that the Warriors had formed a huddle, and they're obviously using this break down 10 points to 0 to try to get this game back on track.
Yeah, well, things are going their way in terms of the injuries that are happening to the Dragons players, and you just sit there and you look at that Dragon side, and you got to think of, Sloan will have to play at some point, right? Just because of the fact that they're going to be down on troops, right? But how do you get him into the game? None of those outside backs are, played in the forwards too often or at all.
Do you put Clint Gutherson in the halves and maybe move Kyle Flanagan?
Clint Gutherson can do a roving role, like he can be a second lock, another middle who will just run.
So you just move him straight into that.
In attack, obviously, he's just going to do it. But it's where the defence
can't hide Sloan, right? That's the issue.
They look like they're going to bring Jacob Little on, so we'll see Damien Cook move into a more middle role as well. Plenty of text messages coming through, as you can imagine. Loving the call. Warriors need to win this game, or I think it's their season over, says Big Daddy. Well, they'll be playing finals football, but yes, I get your point, Big Daddy. Appreciate that. A long-time listener, up the riff, says Will from Blackthorn and Getwell Andrew. G'day, legends, listening while driving around the Blue Mountains, collecting pathology specimens. Love Dino, says Filthy. Up the Tigers. Cliff from Newcastle. Andrew is future immortal. His new trainer, Luke Lewis, will be working hard to get back on the park as soon as possible. The Nathan Cleary of commentary. Yes, thank you very much for that one, Cliff. A big shout out to the other Mad Dragon supporter, Sandy at Umungary. From the other Sandy, Sandy B. Thank you very much for that one. Been on the road for 4 months listening to every Dragons game. They still have a numerical chance if they keep winning. Listening in Catherine in the Northern Territory. It's 32 degrees by the pool. Go the Dragons. Thank you very much for that one. Thank you, Trish from Concord, as well, for your text message as well. Jules is a Warriors fan listening in Dragons Territory at Cogra. Thank you very much to Chris from Canberra, Miles from Tamworth, Stuart from Apsley, and a couple of other text messages as well. Harry Grant has texted as well. I'm not sure whether it's the same Harry. So the good news is that Hamesele was able to leave the ground on his own, or helped by the trainers, but didn't need the Medicab. So that's wonderful news. He's back on his feet, and we are back underway. The Warriors kicked downfield on the final play, and it was taken by the Dragons. On the next play 2, they have it through Flanagan, 20 away from his own line. They go one off the ruck, open side right through Buchanan, and he has the ball 24 away. Left-hand side, one off the ruck. Little is at dummy half, and he links up with Pacific Tonga, who's met in the tackle by 3 Warriors, 33 away in centre field. Little looks to go left out of dummy half. Cook is waiting at first receiver, continues onto the left-hand side. Gutherson looks for quick hands to Tui Pilotu, who has to go back and collect it. So he loses momentum, but he does manage to pick the ball up before the tackle of Watene-Zelezniak. He plays the ball 20 away. Now they're looking for a 20-40 through Flanagan, but he hasn't got the legs of that one. And it's taken on the 40-metre line at the other end through Tuapiki, and the Warriors can start this set in pretty good attacking position, a metre inside Dragons territory, and see the Dragons lead 10-0 after half an hour.
Yeah, it's a huge and a rare opportunity for the Warriors to start their set inside the Dragons half, because the Dragons have done such a good job of kick chase and really building some pressure off the back of the line speed that they've been able to develop. But the Warriors' third tackle now almost at the 30-metre line.
Pompey has the ball just short of that 30-metre line, about 31 away. Plays it for Egan. Left-hand side he goes, linking up with Valmonga, keeping it alive for Tanner Boyd, who sends it back on the inside, and Halasima will take the tackle 21 away from the Dragons line. There's a player laying in the ruck. Wade Egan falls over as he tries to get the dummy half. It was Clemmer, and gives away 6 again. So the Warriors can start a full set here at the Dragons line. They're only 11 away. Valmonga was slammed onto the deck there head first. It wasn't really a dangerous tackle, but it's just the way he went down. His head hit the ground, so he's slow to get up, but he did get up, and the Warriors still in possession through forward, only about 2 metres away from the Dragons line, over in that southeastern corner. He plays it for Egan, open side right. Harris Tavita keeps it alive. Valmonga straightens towards the posts and takes the tackle 7 away centre field. It's play 3 for the Warriors. They have it through Egan, dummy half. Left-hand side, Boyd. They get another set restart. They have it through Harris Tavita on play 1. 6 away from the line, 3 in from the eastern touchline. Tuivasa Sheck is at dummy half. He comes open side right for Boyd. Keeps it alive now through Jackson Ford. Dummies goes himself. Good tackle from Clemmer and also Little to bring Jackson Ford down 11 away from the line. He'll get up slowly and play the ball, thinking maybe Clemmer got him high, but the referee says play on. Open side right now through Stowers Smith. He's only a metre away from the line, next to the left-hand upright. Egan at dummy half. Comes open side right. Tanner Boyd back on the inside. Murata near Corey. 3 away from the line. Play 4 for the Warriors. Egan's left-hand side. Short ball for Stowers Smith. Keeps it alive now for Vaimunga. Left-hand side they go Egan and Tanner Boyd. They have the numbers. Here comes Leka Halasima bouncing away from Kyle Flanagan. Still bouncing off the Dragons, who are getting caught up to each other. He throws it left to Tuivasa Sheck, who had the touchline to deal with, then throws the pass back over his shoulder for Harris Tavita to score. What about the pass from Roger Tuivasa Sheck? He was just about to go over the touchline, threw it over his left shoulder, and Chanel Harris Tavita says thank you very much. The Warriors are on the board, but they still trail 10-4 with a kick to come. 7.5 left in the first half.
Yeah, well, we mentioned before about the possession that they were going to get. First, looking a long time attacking the Dragons line, and the Dragons, you could tell throughout that set, they were hanging a number of repeat infringements. It was only a matter of time, you felt, before they got that opportunity to cross the line. And Leka Halasima, the damaging back rower for the Warriors, gets the ball. He starts dancing around, fending players off. Every player that he knocks over and every second that he remains on his feet just sends their defence into disarray. And you can see him spinning around in circles, gets the ball out to Tuivasa Sheck, who in that one-handed loop pass back on the inside to Harris Tavita was a master, was a marvellous one, and he gets it down. Just watching the replay here is, well, maybe they're looking at there's no obstruction there, but along the tiptoe along the sideline there from Roger Tuivasa Sheck.
Yeah, I think they're probably looking at the touchline, but it was Leka Halasima who made it so messy.
Oh, wow.
It's a great pass.
Little toe tap.
Millimetres in his left toe, I reckon, MC.
How strong is Roger Tuivasa Sheck? Because Hayden Buchanan comes in and tries confirm try, comes in and tries to whack him with that sideline, and we're talking centimetres from going in the shoelace from going into touch. It's unbelievable work. So nice try there for the Warriors.
8th try of the season, and that is his best season by far. I mean, he got 4 last year. He's got 8 this season. So Chanel Harris Tavita in fine try-scoring form, and has 2 doubles this season as well since round 14. So he's loving life at the moment. Tanner Boyd with the opportunity to make it 10 points to 6 from pretty close to the eastern touchline as Boyd moves in and strikes it and comes back, but not enough, and hits the post, and he's unable to add the extra, so it remains 10 points to 4. The Dragons leading the Warriors with 6 to go in the first half. Around the ground, second quarter in the AFL, Sydney leading Richmond 10-8, and the text message is coming through on 0467 920 222. Showbags Brown has been listening to you too much, MC, saying enjoying the call, Spriggy. Thank you, Showbags. It's Glenn, MC, and Dino this evening. Missy is on the mount. Thank you very much for your text message. Dean and Drew are heading to Allianz, the Sydney Football stadium to cheer on the Roosters and the Bulldogs. You've slipped me up there, Dean and Drew. Big shout out to the Dragons. Big love to my man Macca from his girl Rach. And I thought you could only use the 18th man for foul play, says Chris and Gimpy. Well, no, you can use it if you have two players out by HIA, and if the other team causes the HIA. Dino, there does have to be a sin binning involved. And it doesn't matter, does it? If two go down, you can use it. So the Warriors have the ball 20 metres away from their own line with them set after points through Stowers Smith. He goes to the open side left on the subsequent play, and they have the ball through Tuivasa-Sheck, who set up that try for Chanel Harris-Tavita. 35 away from their own line and pushing forward towards the 40-metre line. A good strong run from Halasima, who takes the tackle in centre field. Gets up and plays it for Egan, who goes out of dummy half because the markers were offside. He makes about 12 or 13 there, Egan. So he's inside the Dragons' territory by about 4 metres. They come to the open side right through the hands of Tanner Boyd, and then on it goes to Adam Pompey. Good tackle around the leg, stops Adam Pompey by Figne. He plays the ball 10 inside Dragons' territory. It's the last, so Tanner Boyd goes high in the air, and Gutherson comes across and takes it on his own 10-metre line, where he stopped pretty quickly by a good chase led by Jackson Ford and also Harris-Tavita, who's been in everything so far in this half for the Warriors. Despite the fact they trail 10 points to 4, there is just under 5 minutes to go in the first half at Mount Smart Stadium. They play the ball and come open side right through Corey Allen. He's met by 3 Warriors, including Jackson Ford again, and he's dragged back a couple of metres as well. So Corey Allen plays it about 16 away from his line. One off the ruck left-hand side come the St George Illawarra Dragons. They are out of their red zone, but only just about a metre out as Buchanan plays it. They come to the left-hand side for Damien Cook, playing in a more ball-playing role now, because just repeating the news, they have lost Hamish Stewart and Jack DeBellin, 2 HIAs for the game, and James Sele has also gone off the field and almost certainly will be ruled out because that was a horrible hit, and he looks in Disneyland after being smashed by James Fisher-Harris. So the kick goes downfield from Kyle Flanagan, and it's returned by the Warriors. They had the ball about 6 metres away from the halfway line, open side right. One off the ruck they go for Wateni Zalesniak. He has the ball about 3 inside Dragons territory. He plays the ball for Tuapiki at dummy half. Left-hand side, one off the ruck they come for Pompey, and Pompey takes the ball with strong legs up over the 40-metre line. He's 33 away from the Dragons goal line. Trailing 10-4, the Warriors are attacking the Dragons end of the field with 3.5 to go in the first half, and Jackson Ford gets an offload. Egan was linking up. Harris-Tavita changes direction for Vaimunga, gets it away to Boyd, continuing on for Tuapiki and Niakorte. So Niakorte now is 13-14 away from the Dragons line. Play 4, they have one more play here, the Warriors, as they look to get on even terms, looking to go through a gap that just closed up too quickly on Jackson Ford. He's 4 away from the line. Egan out at dummy half, short to Vaimunga, but he goes directly towards the post, and the post is used in the Dragons' defence because they wrap him up and tackle him over the goal line. He's held up. They'll come back to the 10-metre line for the final play, but I think Vaimunga almost got himself trapped there in front of the goalpost, MC.
Yeah, if the post wasn't there, he scores, I think. The post was a huge advantage for the Dragons there, and look at them now with just 3 minutes remaining in this first half. They're out on their feet. There's David Clement trying to get his breath back in the in-goal at the moment, having played the entire first half unbroken. They've just got to find a way to get through this set, kick, and well, what happened in that last set as well, the Warriors played the ball just short of the halfway mark again, so they've given up so much territory. They're really on the back foot at the moment.
Yeah, the good news, that was Vaimunga on play 5 for the Dragons, so it was a changeover, and Tui Pilotu just trying to slow things down a little bit in the previous play, suggesting there might have been a crusher, but the referee was okay with it. He has the ball again for his second hit up in this set, plays it 33 away from the line. Cook's in at dummy half now. He goes open side right to Clemmer, who despite blowing hard still goes on a good carry and takes the ball to within 4 of halfway. Open side left they go for Leilua. The Dragons have the ball inside Warriors territory now by about 6 metres. Little's at dummy half. Left for Lycan King Tongia, who puts the high kick up in the air, and it's going to be taken by Wateni Zalesniak about 14 away from his own goal line, with the Dragons still leading 10-4 and 2 to go first half, Dina.
Yeah, well, we've seen from the Dragons in that set what they're going to have to do for the rest of the game, and that's the outside men get in as much as possible early and really trying to carry the ball forward. You're seeing, and we mentioned already with Luciano Leilua, he's going to have to do a lot of work. He's going to be on the field for a long time, and he's got to relieve his middleman. So, and ideally, they want to kick the ball over the sideline as much as possible to recatch that energy.
This is a good set for the Warriors. The Dragons are on the back foot. Tuivasa-Sheck made a good run to within about 4 of halfway. Jackson Ford's inside the Dragons half now on play 4. Gets a quick play the ball, and Egan gets it away on the right. Vaimunga gets it away to Boyd. And then Harris Tavita gets a pass away under pressure to Watini Zalesniak, who was getting close to the touchline, so had to put the grubber through, but it's picked up by Gutherson. And Gutherson is more than grateful to take the tackle on the 20-metre line, and the Dragons once again coming out of their own end. The outside backs will pick up a lot of the work here as Matt Fiinge takes the tackle about 23 away centre field. There's just over a minute to go. This will be the final set for the Dragons, but as Dino says, they'll be looking to probably blast that ball low and over the touchline to get a breather, and maybe, possibly, not even a scrum, but I think there will be time as Allen plays the ball 15 short of halfway. Little goes on a run, takes the tackle about 5 short of halfway. There's about 50 seconds to go in this first half. Like King Tongia runs it, gets away from the first man, tries to pass it to Fiinge. It goes to Tuapolotu, who might have been touched by a Warrior, but it wasn't, and it's the last play. King Tongia decided to go himself, and the Warriors get the ball 4 away from the halfway line with 30 seconds to go up the other end, MC.
Yeah, that's not the play. When you're on the back foot with only 30 seconds left, I know he's under a little bit of pressure, but you have to find a way to get boot to ball because it gives the Warriors, 20 seconds now to try and find some more points.
They do have a set restart, but they've only got 16 seconds left, and they're 10 metres inside the Dragons' half. So it'll probably finish at halftime, 10 points to 4. The Dragons lead, and Warriors final play of the first half. Boyd gets it back on the inside for Harris Tavita. He'll keep it alive for Jackson Ford. Ford tries to go around a couple of Dragons players, but they wrap the ball up. He gets an offload away anyway, somehow. Marata Niokore was whacked after he got the pass away. An ugly attempt at a 2-point field goal, but it goes over the dead ball line and does bring an end to proceedings for an opening 40 minutes that was pretty frenetic and also pretty costly for the St George Illawarra Dragons. They might be leading 10 points to 4, but they're 3 players down, and Matt Fiinge with a double in that first half, but Dean Hallertau, they have used a lot of energy to maintain that lead.
Yeah, they have, and look, one pleasing thing for the Dragons, they started so well, not dissimilar to what they have done over the past 2 weeks prior to this, and they've completed really high. That's been a real feature of their game, their completions. They've tried to maintain as much possession as possible so that they can wear the opposition team down. With those losses and the challenge that's going to be in front of them, conserving that energy and having those completions will do them well for the rest of the game, but it is really going to be about digging deep now, and I've got no doubt there's not going to be much technical advice, I don't think, from Shane Flanagan at halftime. It's all going to be about how much they're willing to put on the line out in the field to get the result that they're after. For the Warriors, there'll probably be a temptation to overplay things a bit, knowing that the game's going to open up, they're going to get tight defenders in front of them, there's going to be holes appearing, they may try and force passes that they shouldn't pass. If they stick to their structure and try and play to their edges when the options are there, that they should come away with some points and start to wear the Dragons down. So some really key halftime speeches, I think, coming from both coaches.
Yeah, MC, I was going to ask you about Shane Flanagan. It really is just a passion now, isn't it? How much do the Dragons want to hold on to this one, because they are going to have to do it tough.
Yeah, he's got to be smart tactically as well and work out his bench rotation and how to get Sloan into the game, because they've got to have to use him at some point, and where do you use him and for how long do you use him, and ensuring that, Clement will need a break at some point. Does he have a short stint on or off, whatever the case may be. So they've got to find a way to get that done. The Warriors just got to play fast through the middle. I think that's where they'll get the Dragons, off the back of Wade Egan. His creativity out of dummy half, and if they get a quick play of the ball, they'll be able to move.
50-50 possession. The Dragons have had the ball slightly longer, and they've completed at 90%. The Warriors completing at 76%. The Dragons have run for 912 metres. The Warriors for 889. 3 line breaks to 1 in favour of the Dragons, and 18 tackle breaks to 12 in favour of the Warriors. Defensively, the Warriors have made 212 tackles. The Dragons only 186. The Warriors have missed 12, and the Dragons 18. So the Warriors completing their defence at 94%. The Dragons at 87% with 10 ineffective tackles to 2. 5 errors for the Warriors to 2 to the Dragons, and the Warriors trail the penalty count 3-0. It is 10 points to 4 thanks to tries to Matt Fiinge scoring a double. Kyle Flanagan is 1 from 2. Chanel Harris-Tavita scoring the Warriors' only try. Tanner Boyd couldn't convert. 10-4, the Dragons lead at half-time. We will have plenty more from this game, and also we'll look forward to the second game of this big Friday night here on ABC Sport between the Roosters and Canterbury with Brett Sprigg, Luke Lewis and John Gibbs. That preview will be coming up right after the ABC News.
Hall with ABC News. Federal and state governments have agreed to tighten working with children checks to boost safety at childcare centres. Under the plan, if a person is banned from holding a working with children check in one jurisdiction, they won't be able to apply for the check anywhere else. The measure is expected to be in place by the end of the year. Federal Attorney General Michelle Rowland has conceded that it's taken too long to make childcare safer.
They have been let down by successive governments at all levels. We are here as representatives of the states, territories and Commonwealth to say we're here to make that right. And that is why we are taking decisive action.
Prime Minister Anthony Albanese says Australians are disgusted by the suffering in Gaza following criticism from the US ambassador to Israel. In an interview on the ABC's 7:30 program last night, Ambassador Mike Huckabee said Australia's decision to recognise a Palestinian state was met with disappointment and disgust by the US government. In response, Anthony Albanese says Australians support a two-state solution. He says they want to see hostages returned and an end to the killing and starvation in Gaza.
When you have children starving, when you have children losing their lives with families queuing for food and water, then that provokes, not surprisingly, a human reaction.
The Palestinian Authority has labelled Israel's plans to expand settlements that will divide the Israeli-occupied West Bank from East Jerusalem as racist. Israeli Finance Minister Bezalel Smotrich, who is sanctioned by Australia over accusations of inciting violence against Palestinians in the West Bank, says he wants to bury the idea of a Palestinian state. The Palestinian Authority's political advisor Ahmed Al-Deek says Israel wants to eliminate the Palestinian cause.
This decision is a colonial, expansionist and racist move, a direct threat that could ignite the entire conflict. Part of what this government is doing is a direct response to the wave of international recognitions of the state of Palestine and to the global solidarity marches demanding that governments take action to stop Israel's crimes.
Dozens of people have been arrested in Washington after President Donald Trump took over the US Capitol's police department. The White House says 29 of the 45 people that have been arrested were reportedly living in America illegally. Local and federal law enforcement officers are being stationed around the clock after Mr. Trump announced he'll send in the National Guard for at least the next month. The NT Supreme Court trial of crocodile wrangler Matt Wright has heard he became hostile when his employees abandoned a croc egg collecting mission a month before a fatal crash. More from Tilda Colling.
Helicopter pilot Sebastian Robinson and Chris Wilson were flying the mission in early 2022, a month before Mr. Wilson died in a helicopter crash. Mr. Wright pleaded not guilty to interfering with an investigation into the fatal crash, with the court hearing he wasn't flying missions himself because he was unvaccinated. Former pilot Mr. Robinson told the court he and Mr. Wilson abandoned the earlier mission due to a monsoonal storm, and when Mr. Wright found out, he became angry, swearing at them and telling them egg collecting is not meant to be easy. Asked how he responded, Mr. Robinson said he told Mr. Wright to get vaccinated and fly his own helicopter.
The Tasmanian government is looking to fast-track the use of another antibiotic for farmed salmon as it continues to grapple with an endemic bacterial disease. More from Adam Holmes.
The Rickettsia bacterial disease caused mass die-offs in farmed salmon in summer, with pieces of fish fat washing up on beaches in southern Tasmania. It continues to spread in pens in winter, and the government is now looking to fast-track the approval of another antibiotic called fluorphenicol. Primary Industries Minister Gavin Pearce says warmer conditions have created urgency.
I don't want to see another mass mortality here. That's why I got onto it.
Independent MPs were briefed on the issue this morning, claiming the industry is facing increased deaths, but exact mortality figures remain unknown.
In sport, the Australia A women's cricket team has lost its second one-day international to India A by 2 wickets at Ian Healy Oval in Brisbane. Australian captain Elisa Healy top scored with 91 from 87 balls. The series is a chance for players to prove themselves to selectors ahead of the Women's One-Day World Cup in India and Sri Lanka beginning in October. You're up to date with the latest ABC News. For more, you can download the ABC Listen app.
The new neighbour.
I'm Isabel.
Who's not what she seems.
Somebody here knows something. You'd be amazed the things you learn about a place if you pay attention.
The Family Next Door. Sunday nights on ABC TV and ABC iView.
I'm a proud black little boy with the killer flow. Listen to the year I can't listen to it blow.
The 2025 NRL Premiership.
It's Indigenous round.
11 away. Final play for the Dragons. 11 short of the line, no score. Cook, left-hand side. Flanagan looks to put that Fiinga through a hole, and he does successfully. That Fiinga scores the try, his third of the season in just his 5th game, and the Dragons, close to the line, make the Warriors pay. 8 metres away from the line. They go to the open side right and then change direction for Emre Gula back towards the post. He's 5 away. They lead 4-0. Cooks at dummy half, left for Flanagan. Keeps it alive, King Tongia out the back for Fiinga. Dummies goes himself, scores. Matt Fiinga sells the Warriors. A massive dummy there to Tuapolotu. They all move towards the Dragons winger, and Matt Fiinga goes straight through a yawning gap, 3 away from the line. Play 4 for the Warriors. Egan's left-hand side, short ball for Stoa Smith. Keeps it alive now for Vaimunga. Left-hand side they go Egan, and Tanner Boyd, they have the numbers. Here comes Leka Halasina bouncing away from Kyle Flanagan. Still bouncing off the Dragons, who are getting caught up to each other. He throws it left to Tuivasa Sheck, who had the touchline to deal with, then throws the pass back over his shoulder for Harris Tavita to score. What about the pass from Roger Tuivasa Sheck? He was just about to go over the touchline, threw it over his left shoulder, and Chanel Harris Tavita says thank you very much. The Warriors are on the board.
The 2025 NRL Premiership.
It's Indigenous round.
Yes, that made it 10 points to 4 at half-time. The Dragons leading the Warriors in the first of 2 big matches on Friday night in round 24 of the NRL. Next, we are heading off to the Sydney Football Stadium, where the Roosters will be looking to continue their charge to the finals up against a Canterbury side who would look to consolidate their place in the top 4. Luke Lewis, John Gibbs and Brett Sprigg will be watching it for us this evening. Spriggy, g'day again.
G'day, Glenn. Yeah, 9th versus 3rd, so it's high stakes and one of those games that really does shape the top 8 and top 4. It's also game 1 of this Gadoo Gathering event with the 3 NRL games between now and Sunday here at the Sydney Football Stadium. The Roosters coming off that massive 64-12 scoreline last week over the Dolphins, and of course the Bulldogs also winners last start over the Warriors. The team news is in. Connor Tracy is playing. The Bulldogs fullback will wear jersey number 21. That shifts Jacob Carraz back to the wing, and that forces Jethro Renakama out of the side. He will be their 18th man. Things aren't so straightforward for the Roosters. I will say firstly, Connor Watson and Egan Butcher are back to the bench, and a reshuffle there in their pack. Firstly, it's their hooker, Benaya Iwelu will start hooker in jersey number 14. Spencer Leniu will be in the props alongside Lindsay Collins in jersey number 17. Victor Radley shifts from lock to second row. Nafahu White goes from prop to lock in jersey number 8. And as I mentioned, the bench is Watson, Egan Butcher, Celeste Fiketti and Blake Steep. 18th man, Ethan King. Alongside me is a 2-time premiership winner, Luke Lewis. How are you, Louis?
Yeah, g'day, boys. It's great to be here. Obviously, another night of rugby league. I can't wait for tonight's game. Obviously, the Bulldogs up against the Roosters. Roosters need to keep winning. They're starting to play some really good football. The Bulldogs played well last week. I reckon Connor Tracy is a huge in for him. They look totally different when he's in the side. So, looking forward to tonight. And I am a little bit disappointed about our mate. So, I just want to say, Maury, if you are listening, mate, we miss you. And can't wait to see you soon, brother.
Sending our love and strength to Andrew Moore, as always. We'll talk about the footy itself, but this is, to me, Louis, in some ways about the event. And they're expecting 30,000 people here today. It always generates a great sound. Should be a few more fans here than most of their games here, which they've only won two of from their 8 starts here at home at the SFS this year, the Roosters. But what do the Bulldogs still have left to prove, do you think?
Oh, mate, I think it's just keep getting it. It's not about proving anything. I think they've proved what they're about this year, but I think it's about coming out and really just starting to, understand their game coming to the back end of the year and what they want to be known for in the semi-final. So, again, just getting back to the basics, kick, chase, getting out of their own end nicely and dominating with their tackles in plays 1, 2 and 3. They had that good win in the wet weather, so now they know they can do it. Now it's just getting back to the basics for them.
John Gibbs, a man who understands the halfback role better than most. This will be a great matchup. Savard Serralo and Walker versus Burton and Galvin. How are you, Gibbsy?
Yeah, very well, thank you. And just on top of what Luke said, Andrew, I hope you're feeling better, mate. And the amount of well wishes and goodwill your way is amazing. I couldn't tell you all the people that have inquired about you. So get well. This is going to be a battle royale. These halves. Sam Walker, he's been back for 5 games.
Yeah.
Last 3 games, he's come up with record numbers in terms of try assists, and some of the things he does is amazing. So the battle of him and Lachlan Galvin in particular will be excellent. Matt Burton, though, his running game has been to the fore in recent weeks, and they were brilliant against Manly here a few weeks ago. And Connor Tracy was hurt in that game. He had a blinder that night. So it's going to be a great battle. There's going to be lots at stake.
Even though Canterbury's had a great year, there's still a few questions about, I guess, the way they structure up certain things. Obviously, Galvin coming in a few weeks ago and how all that looks in the spine, but also then Reid Marnie.
Yep.
He's on the bench. How will Cameron Serraldo use, if at all, Reid Marnie in this game?
Well, it happened last week, should I say, and he has said, Cameron Serraldo, that is the way they're going forward.
Yep.
So he's disclosed what he's going to do. He did it with Galvin and Sexton. It'll be just suck and see, Brett. He got 16 minutes last week.
Yep.
So Reid Marnie's a handy man to have on the bench, but at some stage he'll be superfluous to needs.
Great stuff, Gibbsy. Louis, we'll hear from you before kick-off as well. Referee here will be Grant Joey Atkins, Adam G in the bunker. It's a cool evening here, Estate. No rain, turf looks great. Ask us again on Sunday how it looks, but we'll bring it all to you. This blockbuster, the Roosters, the Doggies up next.
Yeah, thanks, Briggy. Looking forward to being out there on Sunday afternoon. Will be interesting to see how the Sydney Football Stadium holds up. Thank you for that. Welcome back to the first game. The Warriors at home against the Dragons. It's St George Illawarra leading 10 points to 4, but just bringing you up to speed that 3 Dragons players, Hamish Stewart, Jack DeBellin and Hamed Saleh, have all been ruled out with HIAs. Their 18th man, I beg your pardon, Tyrell Sloan in jumper number 2 has been activated, and it is going to be a long road ahead for the Dragons to hold on to this 10 points to 4 lead. In the AFL, it's half time. Sydney leading Richmond 24-15, and women's Queensland Rugby League just getting underway between North Devils and Brisbane Tigers. Plenty of text messages coming through. Louis and Alice in Wollongong, up the wires and go the Chooks for my tips. Ron in Auckland is hoping that Andrew is feeling better. Not looking good long term in this game. It'll be a miracle if my boys can get away with this one from Adam the Truckie. I think he may be talking about the Dragons. Hey Glenn, great to hear you again with Dean and MC. Looking forward to a great weekend of footy. It won't quite be the same without Andrew. Have a great call and best wishes to him, says Philly Mudgee and son Michael in Ningan. Yes, it's a very weird feeling. Thank you, Phil and Michael. Hi Glenn, Dean and MC. Thanks for the call. If every Wars play involves hyphen to hyphen, then they'd be doing okay. There's 7 hyphens in this Warriors side, which is wonderful for a commentator, and one of them has the first hit up in the second half. Tanner Stowers-Smith takes the ball about 11 metres away from his own goal line. They get up and play the ball open side right to Jackson Ford. Former Dragon takes it up towards the 20-metre line. Matt Fiingay has a double for the Dragons in this one. Chanel Harris-Tavita with the Warriors' only try. And here come the New Zealand Warriors through Vaimunga up to the 30-metre line in centre field. Jacob Little's involved to bring him down alongside Michael Molo. He get up and play the ball for Egan out the dummy half left-hand side and gets it away to Tatum Tuolpiki, who's 10 metres short of the halfway line. Gets up and plays it for Egan again on play 4. Left-hand side, one off the ruck they come, and taken in the tackle is Chance Nickel Cookster, who we didn't hear much of in the first half. He'll play the ball for Egan. One off the ruck right on the final play. Tanner Boyd puts the high kick downfield, and it's taken by Tui Polotu, back for the first time since round 11 following a hamstring injury. He takes the tackle 22 away. They come to the open side right, and Matt Fiingay 2 tries in the first half, has the ball about 29 metres away from the Dragons line. Continue open side right. Tui Polotu has his second run of this set. Plenty of work for the winger in jumper number 22. They're 10 short of the halfway line, and Corey Allen takes it to that halfway stripe in centre field for the Dragons, leading by 6. Little's at dummy half, and they go open side left and continue on to Luciano Leilua, who's met by 3 Warriors players and held up in the tackle, 9 inside Warriors half. High kick from Lycan King Tongia on the final play in centre field. Coming forward for it, taking it well again, is Tuolpiki, who will start this set for the Warriors, trailing 10-4, about 13 away from his own line.
Yeah, well, the Warriors are doing what they have been doing in the first half, and that's completing, getting their sets and playing patiently. That's what's going to get them their opportunities in this game as the Dragons wear down. But you can already see that the Dragons' intent is, although this penalty is a piggyback that will get the Warriors down attacking. But I was going to say for the Dragons, it's about remaining composed and staying in the wrestle.
Keeping the Warriors down their own end, but Luciano Leilua just laying in the tackle there too long, and it means the Warriors will find touch just inside Dragons territory after kicking for touch on the 30-metre line. So a good advance here for the Warriors, and they start a set inside the Dragons territory as they try to even things up. A converted try would get it back to 10-all, but they lose it on the first play. Damien Cook comes up with it, and it was Kyle Flanagan involved in the tackle and one other that forced the ball out from Halasima. So a big error there from the Warriors, as it was Michael Molo coming in, and Kyle Flanagan, MC maybe. Was there a hint of a strip?
I think it was the action of completing the tackle there, so I don't think there was a huge issue with it.
Okay, as they go open side left, the St George Illawarra Dragons making space down the left-hand side through Tui Pilotu, and he has the ball 18 metres away from the line and 5 in from the eastern touchline. Open side right they come. Flanagan back on the inside for David Clemmer, and David Clemmer has the ball about 15 away from the Warriors line in centre field. They lead 10 points to 4, the Dragons. Right-hand side for Flanagan, gets it away to Pacifici Jr., and he's only 5 short of the line for the Dragons. They come left. Little gets it away to Flanagan. He wants someone to come back on his inside underneath, but there was no one there, so he's absolutely smashed by Near Corday. Gets up and plays the ball 11 away from the line. Final play for the Dragons. King Tongia at first receiver puts the cross kick towards Corey Allen's corner. He tries to bat it back for Buchanan, but Buchanan is there with Roger Tuivasa-Sheck, and he'll be forced to give it up because it's the final play, and now the referee is going to say that it is a penalty for a strip, and the Warriors will get the ball on their 10-metre line. Coming away from their own end again, they trail 10-4 with 4 gone in the second half.
I don't know what Clint Gutherson was doing. He's sort of like challenging without saying challenge.
Dragons. In the contest, we had no knock-on from either team. Warriors getting the ball and then Dragons stripping it after tackle complete.
So Buchanan thought he had possession of the ball, but it was with Roger Tuivasa-Sheck, and then he's reefed it free, and that's where the penalties come. It's a tricky one. This is a really odd one to challenge. I would have just let it go.
All right, so Todd Smith is still
take your team back and then let me go
telling
elements of play leading up to this.
So Roger Tuivasa-Sheck takes the catch.
Roger takes possession.
Going forward, did he lose the ball into Buchanan?
No, I think he held it the whole time.
He probably does
back to make sure that Roger maintains possession of the ball here.
Hand comes off, but if it's still pinned,
his left hand sort of maintains possession.
Maybe he's just dropped it forward there.
I think I just heard Todd Smith saying the challenge is overruled.
Roger loses the ball forward.
It does.
Challenge
Buchanan's hand.
Stand corrected.
Yeah.
So they're knocked on. Their challenge is successful.
So Roger Tuivasa-Sheck, in trying to come up and get that ball just fingertips in at Michael Carianis. You've got the furrowed brow. You're not sure.
It was just an interesting one that we saw last night when a try was given to Xavier Coates, where I thought it was probably a similar situation where if the player wasn't there, if the Penrith player wasn't there, it would have been a knock-on, right? And I think it's a similar situation here.
Yeah, he would have lost the ball. Now there's a little bit of
what's going on?
Push and shove over on the far side. The touch judges had to come in and separate them. Dallin Watene-Zelezniak has a big smile on his face as he's dragged away by his Warriors teammates. Not too much in that. There'll be no penalty. They come back for the scrum because the Dragons have won the challenge and they will get the ball 10 away from the Warriors line. They come open side right. King Tongia gets it away to Hayden Buchanan, and he has the ball 7 metres away from the goal line. Gets up and plays it for Allen at dummy half. Left-hand side he goes for Flanagan at a wide first receiver, and then a short ball to David Clemmer, 10 away from the line. The Dragons still leading 10 points to 4 over the Warriors. 4.5 gone in the second half. He'll play it for Little. Left-hand side for Flanagan, back on the inside for Pacifici Tonga with 6 again for the Dragons. They're 7 away from the line. They'd love a try here. Short on personnel. Open side right they come. King Tonga draws in the defence, gets it away to Flanagan, keeps it alive, and they get another set here. Buchanan has the ball 9 away from the line. How long can the Warriors hold out? They come open open side left. Flanagan gets it away to Clemmer again, and Clemmer takes it into traffic and gets an offload away, but he might have been held. The referee says play on. It goes backwards to nobody. Michael Molo has to go back and collect it. They lose ground here, and Molo will ultimately take the tackle 14 away from the line in centre field. On play number 2, he gets up and plays it for Little. Right-hand side, Cook and Flanagan back on the inside. Buchanan, 9 away from the line. The Dragons have it on play 3, leading 10-4. He'll play the ball for Little. Left-hand side for Cook. Goes away to King Tongia, grubbering towards the in-goal. Pompey's back there. So too is Wateni Zalesniak, who can't hold on to the ball, and he's forced to grubber it over the dead ball line. The Dragons will get another set through a goal line dropout to the Warriors, and St George Illawarra leads 10-4, 6 gone second half.
Yeah, this is a really good feature of King Tongia's game. It's just that little grubber in behind the line. He's got really good weight on it, and he creates that opportunity in behind for either a repeat or even points. So good play there. Give them another set and see what they can come up with.
It is a short goal line dropout, and it's picked up by St George Illawarra about 17 away from the line. Little has the ball. He'll get up and play it, and they'll come open side left for David Clemmer to back into traffic and take the tackle 9 away from the line as he plays the ball for Little again, continuing to the left through Flanagan, and King Tongia bounces away from Tanner Boyd, gets away from another player as well in Stowers Smith, and then gets an offload away to Little. Great run from King Tongia. Little goes to the left and changes direction, sends Pacifici Tonga close to the line, and he's brought to ground centimetres away. Scrambling defence. He might have hurt himself as he landed on his backside, but he gets up and plays it. They come right. Flanagan gets it away to King Tongia, and Gutherson's in the line as well. Passes to Buchanan, gets away from a couple of Warriors players. Doesn't know whether he's going right or left. He goes left. He almost kicks out there as there's a Warriors player hanging on. Little Cook scoots out a dummy half. Flanagan now. The Warriors defence is at 6 and 7s, but the Dragons defence is looking Dragons attacker, beg your pardon, looking a little bit rudderless here. Final play 4 metres away from the line. Cook is a wide first receiver left-hand side. Flanagan lay lure. Short ball for Fiinga, looking for a hat-trick. 1-on-1. Wateni Zalesniak wraps him up and stops him in his tracks. Really good scrambling defence from Wateni Zalesniak as Fiinga looked to score a hat-trick there. He stopped 4 away from the line, and the Warriors will get the ball 10 away from their own goal line with a 10 points to 4 deficit and 8 gone in the second half.
Yeah, that was a really disjointed set there from the St George Illawarra Dragons. Their best play came in that last tackle there, where they sort of looked like they were to get through Fiinga, but outside of that, it looked really lost and really confused.
Pompey has the ball for the Warriors, 10 away from their own goal line as they come away from their own end, and now they have the ball through Roger Tuivasa-Sheck. 8 minutes gone second half. The Dragons holding on to this 10 points to 4 lead. A real battle of attrition at Mount Smart Stadium with Michael Carianis, Dean Hallertau and Glenn Lauder on ABC Sports coverage of round 24 as the Warriors go right through Tanner Boyd. Gets it away now to over on that far side, Adam Pompey again, and he takes the tackle 9 metres short of the halfway line. 3 in from the eastern touchline. So they come back open side left, and Harris Tavita will kick from inside 40. He was smashed as he kicked the ball, but the referee Todd Smith says it was all in time and there'll be no further issue for the Dragons as Gutherson returns the ball over the 40, gets an offload away as well, and sends Corey Allen up over the halfway line and up over the 40-metre line as well. He takes the tackle, I beg your pardon, just short of the 40-metre line as he takes the tackle about 7 in from Warriors territory. Here's Tuapolotu. He's over the 40-metre line now. He's 35 away from the Warriors line. He plays it for Little. Open side right for Clemmer. Clemmer straightens over the 30-metre line. It takes 3 Warriors to stop him just about as always. And 9 minutes gone in the second half. The Dragons are attacking the line again. They have the ball through Pacifici Tonga. Gets an offload to Gutherson. Quick hands for Molo. It's like a quick basketball pass there. And Molo takes the tackle 19 away from the Warriors line. Play 4. They go left from Little at dummy half to Cook. Flanagan gets it away to King Tonga. Another little grubber through. Going back towards the in-goal. It wasn't quite deep enough on that occasion. And it means that Tuapiki can take it about a metre away, and then he's brought to the ground and then dragged over the goal line. So it'll be a Warriors penalty. The second tackle tackle there from the Dragons to try to drag Tuapiki in was illegal according to Todd Smith, and it's another get out of jail here for the Warriors with a penalty right on their own goal line.
Yeah, just too tempting there, and again the short kicking game from King Tonga is what gets it into the back play, but it just was not on when it was that far away from the line. The chasers didn't get a clear line through, and he's able to get it out there to a picky, and then you can see Fingo there just giving himself a whack across the head for not doing what he should have done, and that's just concede the tackle.
So I've just realised that the NRL team lists have been updated. Jacob Halangahu is wearing the number 15 jersey. He was named in 20 during the week, and Michael Mollo is not playing. I thought he looked very young for Michael Mollo when I was looking at him, but Jacob Halangahu is in the 15 jersey for the Dragons. Apologies to him for misnaming him Michael Mollo. The Warriors have found touch. They have the ball inside St George Illawarra's territory now, and they have the ball about 35 metres away from the Dragons line as Jackson Ford. That's a horrible attempt to play the ball. He plants it, he falls over, he loses it. It was the final play anyway, so it'll be a changeover for the Dragons, and they get the ball on their own 40-metre line, but Jackson Ford has made an absolute hash of that.
Yeah, just a sloppy effort to get up to his feet. He gets the ball on the ground. I thought okay, but he's falling forward. It's not a clean play, the ball, and the referee identifies that straight away, which has been pretty good, Todd Smith, over the last few weeks of picking up those ones. And the Warriors at the moment, their own worst enemy. I've got to say that the Dragons are doing a great job when the ball's in hand. They're coming up with a lot of offloads. The second phase is really stripping the defence of the Warriors, and they're burning their energy.
So Corey Allen plays at 11 short of halfway. Open side right for Tui Pilotu. Takes the tackle 5 short of halfway. Gets up and plays the ball for Jacob Little. Left-hand side for David Clemmer, and Clemmer is tackled on the halfway line. 51 minutes gone, so there's still plenty of time for both sides. The Dragons lead 10 points to 4. Left-hand side with 6 again is Luciano Leilua. Takes the tackle 11 or 12, 13 now inside Warriors territory. Gets up and plays it for Jacob Little again to come to the open side right, linking up with Emre Gula, and Gula's over the 30-metre line, brought to ground 29 away. Centre field for the Dragons. They come right again. Flanagan dummies and then gets it away to Buchanan. Buchanan straightens, takes the tackle. He's 22 away from the Warriors line, and just on this western edge, about 22 in from the touchline. Left-hand side they go. Cook to King Tongia, back on the inside, Leilua, and he has the ball 11 away. He's in centre field. The Warriors have had to do a lot of defending over the last few sets. Can they get broken down here? Cook with the ball back on the inside to Clemmer. Takes the tackle, 3 away. It's the final play, centre field. Little's at dummy half. Right he goes for Flanagan, keeps it alive. Gutherson will grub her. It's a great take low to the ground by Chanel Harris-Tavita. The slips catch and stops the Dragons once again. The Warriors coming up clutch. He was really close to Clint Gutherson there. The reflexes were outstanding.
Yeah, it was,
take that catch.
It was a great, it was a great catch there by Harris-Tavita, but again, the Dragons are just piling on the pressure. They're maintaining possession as much as possible. It was a good play. They've had a bit of success with it, but just watching a replay, remarkable catch in the slips there.
He's taken that fingertips on his right hand and managed to juggle it with his left. It was a great take. Dylan Watene-Zelezniak might have hurt his foot here as he plays the ball, and now they get another penalty here, the Warriors, for a high shot, and it was James Fisher-Harris might have been the man who got tackled, or I think it might have been Maratani Akote actually, and it was Luciano Leilua giving it away. They're their own worst enemies at the moment, Michael Carianis, the Dragons.
Yeah, full tackle as well, and that was probably their best defensive set of this second half as well, because the Warriors were struggling to get out of their own end, and Luciano Leilua just lazy that. Like it was an unnecessary sort of tackle there. So he just put his side on the back foot.
Watene-Zelezniak is still in back play, getting some treatment for the trainer. He's hobbling a little bit. He should be okay. The Warriors have the ball through Stowers Smith, about 15 inside Dragons territory. They haven't been down here for a long time. They still trailed 10-4, and Jackson Ford gets up and plays the ball. There's another Dragons player clutching his head in back play after that tackle on Ford. They have the ball. It's Damien Cook. He gets back up and joins the line. Jacob Little gives away 6 again by dragging Shanti Cook-Brookster back to the ground. And the Warriors have a full set here at the Dragons line. They're only 3 metres away. Another set. James Fisher-Harris was held on too long on the ground. Here's Harris to Vita now. 3 away from the line. Can they go back to the other end, the Warriors, and score after all that defensive work? Oh, James Fisher-Harris drops it cold. 10 away from the line. He just has a big look at the defence under very little pressure. And James Fisher-Harris, the look on his face, he knows how big of an opportunity that would have been for the Warriors, trailing 10-4, attacking the Dragons line. He drops it as cold as a spud.
Yeah, you can feel the pressure rising. I would say in the coach's box of the Warriors at the moment, as we see Andrew Webster go to the walkie-talkie. But James Fisher-Harris, once again, the Warriors, their own worst enemy, gets an opportunity in front of the goalpost. He was thinking about the set play they had going to his right. I'm sure he was going to transfer a pass out to his right. He doesn't get the ball in hands first. Comes up with a really clumsy error. And the Dragons, they'll take their time here. They'll try and get through the set comfortably. And once again, they've got to go for touch and try and buy as much energy as they can.
Thanks to Don and family for their text message as well. And the Dragons, thank you to this text message. Michael Molo's not playing in Salangatu. Yes, finally worked out. Apologies. The number 15 switcheroo. And the Dragons have the ball 20 metres away from their own line.
Because they're in New Zealand, they must have run out of jerseys. They must have taken the right amount of jerseys, and hence the confusion.
Yeah. So another penalty, this time to the Dragons, and the Warriors giving them a piggyback, and it's Luciano Leilua who gave a penalty away only about 2 minutes away. He's on the receiving end of this one, and he's got a smile on his face because it was the Warriors in Adam Pompey giving that penalty away just inside the Dragons' half, so they'll be able to kick the touch through Flanagan and find touch right on the halfway line. 10-4, the Dragons still leading the Warriors, and Leilua leading with his knee there, but it was the Dragons that got the penalty, and they have the ball now through that man about 11 metres inside Warriors territory. Getting up and playing the ball open side right they come. Luck and King Tongia back on the inside for Emre Gula, and Emre Gula takes the tackle 34 away from the line in centre field. He plays it for Little, open side right. They continue on for Flanagan, and then Gutherson back on the inside for Halangahu. He will take the tackle. Good bit of post-contact metre work there. Hard leg drive to the 20-metre line. Left-hand side, Cook gets it away to King Tongia. They're back at the right end of the field again. Here the Dragons leading 10 points to 4 with 24 minutes to go. Playing the ball for Little. Right-hand side, Cook's at first receiver. Here's Clemmer. Good strong run again for David Clemmer. He's only 10 away from the line, but it's the final play for the Dragons. Little will come left out of dummy half. Waiting for it is Flanagan. Goes to the line, liking King Tongia. And now Matt Fiinge loses the ball. It's picked up by Pompey. Can he go away? No, Gutherson has to drag him and bring him down from the shoulder. He's saying that he lost the ball, and Todd Smith agrees.
They're going to be no advantage.
This will be a double knock on, yep. So Matt Fiinge lost the ball first. It was picked up by Adam Pompey, who ran 10 or 12 metres and then lost the ball in a really good tackle from Gutherson. But it'll come back for the first knock on to Matt Fiinge, and the Warriors will get the ball back trailing 10-4.
It wouldn't have been far away from the advantage, but it was short, and it'll go back. But you could see what was unfolding on the left-hand side there for the Dragons. If Fiinge can get that ball away, they've got the 2-on-1 on the edge. Dallin was coming all or nothing in. It ended up being a good play, spooked him enough to force the error. If he catches it, he probably would have been whacked as well.
No points in this second half so far. The Warriors have Egan at dummy half, going himself towards the 40-metre line. He's 9 short of halfway in centre field. Getting up and playing the ball for Tuapiki at dummy half to come right-hand side. The big fella Aaron Clark gets it away to Tanner Boyd, and on it goes to Nia Corday, who's 2 short of the halfway line. He'll get up and play the ball. They go to the right-hand side through Tanner Boyd, who makes a good run, almost gets through the line, takes the tackle 35 away from the Dragons line on the final play. First receiver is Harris Tavita, puts the high midfield bomb up, waiting for it was Tui Pilotu, but he was out-jumped. The Warriors get the ball back, but it's the final play. It'll be a changeover, and the Dragons will have it about 15 metres away from their own goal line, but Todd Smith is going to call someone out here. Let's have a listen to what the referee has to say.
We're the captain's chance from the Warriors. Completed on tackle 6. They're claiming he's tackled in the air, mate. We've got to hand over Dragons ball.
Yeah, right. Looks like he landed on top of him. as he come to the ground there. Christian Tuipulotu was the man going up. Dallin also up.
Warriors kick chases onside. Little elements leading up to this. Looking at the right hand of Christian, he's initially competing. He's now grabbed Dallin. Dallin is in the air. This is a penalty. He's successful. He's barely tackled him. Like his arms have. So Clint Gutherson is saying that Dallin Watene-Zelezniak's foot was on the ground by the time that Tuipulotu wraps his second arm around him, Dino. That's hard. MC. Tough call.
Yeah. Look, it's a tough call. There's a split second in it. When you freeze frame it, it's a penalty, right? But yeah, that's a tough one.
The game's not played at frame by frame.
That's a tough one against the Dragons.
Millimetres in it. So the Warriors will get the penalty 15 metres away from the Dragons line. They trail 10 points to 4. There's just over half an hour to go, just over 20 minutes to go, I beg your pardon, at Mount Smart Stadium as Erin Clark gets up and plays it 9 away from the line. Jackson Ford loses it going into traffic as well. The Warriors getting close to the line on a couple of occasions and lose the ball cold. First it was Fisher Harris, on this occasion Ford, and the Dragons can come away from their own end through Buchanan has the ball on play 1 with a 10 points to 4 lead. Another error close to the line, Dino.
Yeah, once again, it's repeat for the Warriors, and I thought the pass was marginally forward anyway, so the error comes Jackson Ford. It's their two leading men in the middle, Jackson Ford and Fisher Harris, that have come up with those really crucial errors when they've got those opportunities in attack. So the Dragons breathe a sigh of relief. We've seen some footage of Tyrell Sloan on the sideline, who still hasn't come on the field yet, but he may be coming in soon. Oh no.
Little's tried to flick pass and offload, and it's gone forward, and Clint Gutherson picked it up, but he is filthy at his team for just trying to force that pass and put them back under pressure again. And the Warriors will have a scrum feed just inside the Dragons half, and that's unnecessary from Little there. He probably should have passed earlier before he ran into the defensive line, MC.
He probably just had too much time and got a little bit confused there. Jacob Little, sort of had a half opportunity and then didn't really know what to do, but you're right, he should have either passed earlier or just taken the tackle.
Cam from Carlo has texted in, thank you. The Warriors are really playing for their injury list, says Gideon from Oak Flats. It clearly shows in their ordinary offensive play, and that's where the injury hit them hard. Cam, said that he's gone to Chooki's game, and for the first time in my life I've chosen to sit near a particular player. It's got to be Mark's wing. He is an excitement machine. Mark Nwanga-Nitawazi for the Roosters. Can they get the job done tonight? Brett Sprigg will have the call. The Warriors have the ball about 25 metres away from the Dragons line through Yeremia Tuava, and he'll get up and play the ball for Egan at dummy half. Comes to the right-hand side. Erin Clark gets it away to Tuapiki, and then on it goes now for Nick Porte, who takes the tackle 13 away from the line, getting up and playing the ball, and Egan waiting for it at dummy half for Boyd at first receiver. Goes through the hands of Clark to Harris Tavita, keeps it alive for Charles Nickel-Klugstad, tries to bounce away from one, gets the flick pass, offload out the back for Egan to pick it up, keeps it alive. Here's Jackson Ford towards the line, 4 away, and he'll get up slowly and play the ball on the final play. He's going to give it 6 again there, Leilua, as grubbering into the in goal and forcing a goal line dropout. Clint Gutherson can't get out, and the Warriors will have another set leading 10-4.
Clint Gutherson just likes to argue everything that happens on the field. He just got trapped in the in goal, and there was something that happened. Maybe he felt like he was hit on top of the head. I thought there was a chance to throw the short ball there from Fisher Harris. Taintil Picky was running a hard line, and he had a bit of space in front of him. But we'll see a drop out here from the Dragons under the pump again.
Yeah, Egan's little grubber into the in goal. Just what the doctor ordered for the Warriors. 18 minutes to go. They trail 10-4. No points in the second half. A 60-metre goal line dropout sees James Fisher Harris charging at pace into the Dragons' defence, and he takes the tackle about 10 inside their territory. Egan dummy half right for Harris Tavita, continues on for Jackson Ford, who takes the tackle 31 away in centre field. Gets up and plays it for Egan. Open side right, Harris Tavita again. Boyd coming round the back and linking up with Harris Harris to Vita. Boyd takes it up towards the 10-metre line. He's only 11 away. Egan comes left, getting away to Jeremiah Tuava, I beg your pardon. He's 5 metres away from the line. Gets up and plays it for Egan. Continues out of dummy half for Boyd at first receiver. Right they go. Numbers to a Mickey. Oh, the dummy from Pompey. I thought he might have messed it up, but he didn't. Pompey dummies, goes himself, scores. 10 points to 8. The Dragons lead the Warriors. Clint Gutherson's arguing again. They had plenty of numbers on the right-hand side, the New Zealand Warriors, and they have an opportunity now to make it 10 points all with a kick to come.
Yeah, it was the first time that they've gotten through an attacking set with any sort of fluency. They almost get through. Tanner Boyd makes a nice decision. They head back to the middle of the field and attack to their right. Clemmer was really peppering the hooker there as he jumped out, so it could have been a penalty, but they persist and shift it to their edge. They stripped it for numbers, as you say, Estee, and it's Tanner Boyd who throws a sweep line out there to Tuapiki. Once they have the overlap, it's just a show and straight through from Adam Pompey.
It's his third try in his last 5 games, MC.
Yeah, what the Dragons were remonstrating was potential lead runner there on King Tonga. So I think it was Murata and Niokoya that was running that angled line. So they're just going to take a look at that here.
So out of dummy half, Egan and Boyd, and there is Niokoya taking Tonga out, and Tuapiki does run through that gap slightly. What do you think on that replay, Dino?
He plays for it. We've seen this or spoken about players playing for the penalty, and he definitely runs a line towards the outside there of King Tonga, does Murata Niokoya, but yeah, he sort of gives himself up there. Not sure if I've heard that was confirmed.
No, I heard Todd Smith say they are still looking.
Yeah, confirmed.
Okay, there it is, try confirmed. So Adam Pompey scores the try, and Clint Gutherson's argument falls on deaf ears with the officials. So Adam Pompey with the try for the Warriors. And could this be 10 points all? Of course, we had extra time last night in the Penrith-Melbourne game. 15 and a half to go here. Tanner Boyd's 10 metres in from the western touchline. Strikes this one, and we are all square at 10 all. 0467920222 Panthers to win, says Greg at Ride. They did last night. They didn't last night, Greg. Thank you for that one. Can they win the comp? Scratching pen underway since 6 a.m. this morning, says Trish. The Roosters at Concord. Really enjoying the call. I've been thinking about when the last time James Fisher-Harris came off. Second best after a smash on the field. It was a long time ago, says Phil in the gong. And best wishes to Andrew. Where does David Clemmer rank in the list of the buys of the year? He's been very good, says Tim from Upper Caboolture. He's got to be up there because they got him really cheap and pretty late at the end of the season, at the start of the season.
Yeah, look, he's not a front rower that's going to be talked about in the top 5 or 6 conversation, but his role that he's taken up over there has been really effective. He's had a good influence on their team, and as we're seeing tonight, his output has been enormous.
Everyone's listening in Cairns. Al, Sandy and Kim are listening. Thank you to you guys. It's 21 degrees up there, and so is Tim from Cairns is listening as well. Thank you for your well wishes, Tim. Andrew will appreciate it. Here is the Warriors after points, and it was almost an atomic wedgie there on the Warriors player Adam Pompey after scoring the try. He was trying to fix his trousers as he got tackled there. It didn't look comfortable, but they have the ball. It's a good start in this set. They're only 5 short of halfway on play 3. They come open side left, strong run from Aaron Clark as well. I get the feeling the Warriors can sense a little bit of blood in the water here because the Dragons players have had to play big minutes with those 3 players, Hamish Stewart, Jack DeBellin, and also Hamer Sele, all failing first half HIAs, and it's going to be taking a toll. Harris Tavita plays the ball 30 away. Final play, so they go open side right, and Tanner Boyd puts the high kick up in the air. Tuapolotu takes it this time and takes a tackle 9 away from the goal line with the scores all square at 10 all, 14 to go.
Yeah, it's going to take a huge effort from the Dragons to get out of this one. As you mentioned, Glenn, the amount of players that there are without. David Clemmer's finally got a break after a huge, how many minutes? He played 65 minutes of football. He's been outstanding for the Dragons, but he have a short break and probably back on the field.
So they have the ball 30 metres away from the line. 66 gone, as Michael Carianis so eloquently made us aware of there. 10 metres away from the halfway line in centre field. Getting up and playing it is Gutherson, and they'll look for inside 40 here, but he wasn't looking for a 40-20 in the end. Kyle Flanagan taken on the 20-metre line and returned by Roger Tuivasa-Sheck to about 31 away from his own goal line. Yeah, Luciano Leilua, Damien Cook have been on the field since the start, so big minutes from those guys in the middle of the field, and David Clemmer only just getting a rest as well. So the Warriors had the ball about 9 short of the halfway line. Tuapiki met in a strong tackle there by Halangahu as they get up and play the ball 11 away from halfway. They come left, Chance Nickel Cookstar, who's been more involved in this second half after a quiet opening 40, about a metre inside St George Illawarra territory. And they come to the left-hand side of the field through Roger Tuivasa-Sheck. He's only about 2 metres inside this western touchline after the tackle of Flanagan. He plays the ball for Egan. Open side right, first receiver, one off the ruck is Harris Tavita, who puts the high kick up again, and Tui Pilotu takes it pretty comfortably, 12 away from his own line. 13 to go or just less. It's 10 all, Dino.
Yeah, well, the Warriors have found their rhythm, haven't they? They're not doing too much, they're not overcomplicating things, but they're getting through their sets and getting a purposeful kick, usually high towards Tui Pilotu, so it takes him out of that early tackle effectiveness, although he has gone for a carry almost immediately on third play.
Yeah, Tui Pilotu plays it about 27 away from his own line. And now Emre Gula back on the field, gets the pass away to Gutherson. Quick hands, keeping it alive, messy, but it worked, and the Dragons have the ball through Halangahu about 16 short of halfway. Scooting out of dummy half now is Corey Allen. He's put on his back about 5 short of the halfway line, gets up slowly and plays it on the last. Open side right, they come for Flanagan to put a high kick downfield, and it's given Tuipiki plenty of time to take the catch about 15 away from his own goal line, and he returns it into traffic where he takes the tackle 29 away with 12 to go, and the Dragons, Warriors locked at 10 points all. 2 games this weekend, maybe both of them going to extra time, MC.
Well, you look at Gutherson's now moved, as Dean Hallertau alluded to. He's going to play in the middle of the field with Terrell Sloan onto the paddock. I think it's a good change from Shane Flanagan.
I'm sure Kyle will be happy with the change as well, as James Fisher-Harris takes it up over the halfway line. He will take the tackle about a metre inside Dragons territory. They come to the left, the Warriors, Harris Tavita. He's 11 inside St George Illawarra's half. So defence is going to be important for Tyrell Sloan at the back as well. They come right here, the Warriors, on the Dragons' 40-metre line. Tanner Boyd puts the high kick up in the air, and Tui Pilotu is safe again under the higher ball, and he's cleaned up by Nia Korte about 10 metres away from the Dragons' line. They're coming away from their own end here, St George Illawarra through Fiinga. He has the ball 16 short of his own, or 16 away from his own goal line with 11 minutes to go, and the score's locked at 10 all. Tui Pilotu has been heavily involved tonight, and he takes another hit up here, 24 away from his own line. The Dragons struggling to get away from their own end here. Buchanan takes it up over the 30-metre line, only just on play 4, and he'll take the tackle and play it for Little at dummy half. Left for Gutherson into the attacking line and gets it away to Leilua. Final play then, 9 short of halfway. Little get away to Flanagan to kick on his own 40-metre line. It's a high kick straight down the middle, and Tuapiki takes it on his own 20-metre line to return it up over the 30, where he is met in centre field. 10 all with 10 to go.
Yeah, unfortunately, the kicking on the end of their sets is what's really hurting the Dragons at the moment. He's getting pressured, Kyle Flanagan, so he's popping them up in the air, and it's an easy catch for the Warriors. They're immediately on the front foot. By play 3, they're up to halfway. So I said it before, if they can find touch somehow, that's where they're going to get a chance to regenerate that energy and try and strangle a little bit in defence. But at the moment, they're just conceding metres into their own half, and they're playing on the back foot constantly.
Yeah, and Wade Egan's being given a rest, so Sam Healy's on the field for the final 10 minutes for the Warriors, the 23-year-old in game number 5. It's the final play for them, and they have it on the 30-metre line. Healy goes out of dummy half to Tanner Boyd, who's met pretty heavily as he gets the kick away, and Tui Pilotu takes it well again, 5 away from his own goal line by the tackle of Adam Pompey. Gets up and plays it. Tanner Boyd is still down in back play after that heavy contact as he was getting the kick away. This is a surrender tackle by Matt Fiinga, so slow to get up and play the ball, and Gutherson's contact with Boyd looked absolutely fine. It was right at the same time. It was simultaneous, so no drama there for Gutherson, and the Dragons once again coming away from their own end on play 4, only 23 metres away from their own goal line. So this has been a good defensive set from the Warriors to keep St George Illawarra at this end. Here's Tyrell Sloan taking it over the 30-metre line and brought to ground 31 away on the last play. The Dragons will have to kick from really deep in their own half. Inside their own 30, Flanagan kicks. And Tuapiki can take it on his own 20-metre line and get it away to Tuivasa Sheck for the return carry up towards the 40. They'll start this set only 9 short of the halfway line. So the old foursome backs is really in Warriors' favour at the moment as Healy out of dummy half comes open side left for Dallin Watani-Zalesniak. He's 5 metres inside Dragons half. Left-hand side they come again through Tuivasa Sheck. And they're 13 metres inside Dragons territory on play 3. The Warriors really looking to win this arm wrestle. Healy out of dummy half right. He goes for Erin Clark. They're 27 away from the line. It's play 4. Still 8 minutes to go. They start thinking about field goals. They go to the right. Not at the moment because they're attacking the line through near Kore. 9 metres away. Final play. Dummying out of dummy half is Tuapiki. Getting it away for Pompey. Scores a double. And they have the lead, the Warriors. After conceding the first 2 tries of the night, they now lead 14 points to 10 with a kick to come, and Pompey has a double.
Yeah, well, it's all too fast defensively from the Dragons, and the Warriors really exploiting that. They made easy meters downfield. It started as a really strong carry. Obviously, they got good field position from a strong defensive set. They get the kick on the full. They're up into attacking territory very quickly. Dallin Watani-Zalesniak had a really strong carry early on, and once he established that momentum, they didn't stop from there. A short side play on last, which was wise. The defence hadn't reset, and it's pretty comfortable there for Adam Pompey just to slice over with little resistance from the edge defence there off the Dragons.
Taking its toll, MC.
Yeah, definitely a little bit slow, the Dragons there. They've just run out of gas, and you can understand why, but nice little play there from Tuapiki. I actually thought they went the wrong way by going that side. Chanel Harris-Tavita was set up. I thought he was actually getting in position potentially for that field goal option, but spotted something on that left-hand side of the Dragons defensively, slow to react, and nice bit of play there from the Warriors.
As Ian Cohen in Melbourne would say, the Dragons are just about out of petrol tickets. Around the grounds in the AFL fourth quarter, Sydney absolutely thumping Richmond, 51-18. I know Nick and Rachel will be watching that one. Nick, a big Swans fan, Rachel a Tigers fan, so that household will be split tomorrow. AFL men's, that's AFL women's game, I beg your pardon. The Swans leading Richmond. In the AFL men's game, it's the first quarter between Essendon and St Kilda, leading 20 points to 8. The Bombers, and half-time in Queensland women's rugby league, Brisbane Tigers leading North Devils 20 points to 4. Tanner Boyd is about 4 metres in from the western touchline, and he takes his time here with just over 6 minutes to go. And a 14-10 lead for the Warriors. Can they break the 3-game losing streak? This one goes across the face. He's unable to add the extras. He's 1 from 3 tonight, but they do lead 14 points to 10. 0467 920 222. Say it thrice. It sounds so nice. We will hear it one day again when Andrew comes back. I won't be saying it. Jan from Tassie is wishing him all the best as well. This is Wendy from Townsville. I'd like to know the score for the NRL W Cowboys Eels game that was played last Sunday after the men's game. Wendy, you probably don't have time to look that up at the moment. Apologies for that. Evening, lads. Panthers lost last night due to karma finding them for the way they ripped off the Titans. Greg on the Murray. Hello, boys. Will MC pick up to take on commentary in absence? MC, thoughts? The goal? Don't worry about that because the kickoff hasn't gone 10. It's gone over the touchline, and the Warriors will get the ball on halfway. The Dragons getting desperate.
Obviously, old mate's never heard me speak.
You're going to start having commentary attempts at kicks at goals soon, aren't you? You're just going to sneak in there.
Oh, yeah. When the boss is away, we'll get to play.
Exactly. You can do AFL around the grounds as well.
Shan't be doing it. Yeah, I'll do them.
Whenever you want. Here's Vaimonga. Has the ball 9 away from the Dragons line. The Warriors, after 3 straight losses to the Gold Coast, the Dolphins and Canterbury, they have a 14 points to 10 lead. The Dragons have just knocked over Canberra and Cronulla, 2 top 8 sides. But they're trailing 14-10 here. They don't have a good record in Auckland. This might continue. The Warriors 35 metres away from the Dragons line with 5 to go, leading by 4 points. And they have the ball through Fisher Harris in centre field. He'll play it for Healy. Dummy half, right-hand side he goes. Getting it away away back on the inside for Tuapiki. I'll tell you what, Sam Healy, who no doubt grew up a big Cronulla fan with his dad Mitch playing for the Sharks, he would love a win over the old rivals, the Dragons, as Harris Tavita puts a high kick up in the air into this western corner. It's lost forward by the Dragons. I reckon it's back by the Warriors. Still the last not touched by the Dragons, says Todd Smith. That is quite unbelievable, and the Dragons will get the ball. Falling on it about 12 away from his own goal line is Emre Gula, desperately trying to get the ball back for his team. And then Corey Allen is whacked by Aaron Clark. 4.5 to go. The Warriors 14-10. The Dragons trying to get away from their own end, Dino.
Yeah, they need to find Tyrell Sloan somewhere. He's the only one that's got the pace, I should say, to break it open if he can get into it. But there's some tired bodies. It's just one-out stuff. There's not a lot of construction about the sets that they're putting together. It is a tough effort, though.
Tui Pilotu plays the ball about 30 away from the line. They come open side right through Hayden Buchanan, and he has the ball 15 short of halfway and about 15 in from the western touchline. They come open side left now for Flanagan to kick downfield, straight down the throat once again of Tuapiki, who can send Watani Zalesniak back away up over the 40-metre line. He's only 6 short of halfway. Once again, the kicking not asking enough questions of the Warriors at the back, and they have the ball on plate 2 through Adam Pompey, 6 metres inside Dragons territory. It is all the Warriors at the moment. The Dragons out on their feet with 4 minutes to go, just under, and the New Zealand Warriors through Roger Tuivasa-Sheck are only 33 away from the Dragons line. They come left through Aaron Clark. He's taken in the tackle but gets the offload to Sam Healy. Goes towards the line, passing away for Tanner Boyd. Another offload, Tanner Boyd. They need to wrap the ball up here, the Dragons. Roger Tuivasa-Sheck takes a knee and takes the tackle with Gula coming over the top. It's play 4. They're 20 away from the line and lead by 4, the Warriors. Ball back on the inside from Harris Tavita to James Fisher-Harris. He plays the ball 10 away from the line. They come to the left as Healy scoots out a dummy half and goes himself towards the line. He's just short, but it's the final play. It'll be a changeover for the Dragons. Centimetres away from their own goal line, trailing 14-10 and only 2.5 to go.
Yeah, well, they're starting at the worst place possible. This is going to be, you would think, their last chance with the ball. The Dragons, they're 1 metre, 2 metres out from their own line, and yeah, the Warriors are just going to go shoulder to shoulder here and bash them.
98.5 to go. Corey Allen has only got about 6 of those. He gets up and plays the ball, and Pacifici Tonga will take it to the 10-metre line. They're still inside their own 10 just as Nia Cordo makes a decent tackle there, and they come open side right one off the ruck where Jacob Little, beg your pardon, it is Clint Gutherson getting up and playing the ball there as Damien Cook's back on the field. Actually, they come left-hand side. That foot pass is about 8 metres forward, but it sees Tyrell Sloan up over the 40, up over the halfway line. They've got numbers here, the Dragons. They're up over the 30 through centre field. Like in King Tongia is brought to ground about 19 away. I'm sure that pass was forward. Terrible play the ball, but they stay alive here, the Dragons. Quick hands from Flanagan, gets it away on the right-hand side there to Buchanan, who might have lost it, but he holds onto it. 2 minutes to go. He does lose it, Buchanan. The referee's called a knock on, only about 4 metres away from the line with 1.5 minutes to go. Tyrell Sloan was the man that Dean Hallertau and Michael Cariana suggested could burst this one open, and he did just that. But I reckon that pass from Leilua was at least 1 metre forward. It doesn't matter. They've knocked it on about 1 metre away from the goal line at the other end, and the Warriors will probably get home, Dino.
Yeah, but it's one of those short passes. He had his back to the sideline, Luciano, so it was hard for the touch judge to see it. And I don't know what Tyrell Sloan was looking for support immediately. I thought he was going to pin the ears, take on the fullback and try and get there himself, but he was looking around for the support. He throws a big cutout pass with no one near him, and it really kills the play. They almost get there on the ensuing ruck, but they turn things over, and you've got to think a mistake's the only hope now for the Dragons from the Warriors.
When you're Tyrell Sloan and you've been on the field for 11 minutes in the 79th minute, you reckon you've got the gas to get there, surely, as the Warriors have the ball 12 metres away. Michael Carianis is speechless, I think, at this point. And the New Zealand Warriors ball under the jumper stuff now with 1 minute 20 to go. Roger Tuivasa-Sheck on his own 20-metre line plays it for Healy. It's one off the ruck stuff here for the Warriors. Aaron Clark gets up and plays the ball, and they come open side left as they continue going forward through Vaimaunga. He takes the tackle of Cook, and also Halangahu taking that tackle, and it took plenty of time to bring Vaimaunga down there, 12 short of halfway, as James Fisher-Harris runs back into traffic. Less than 1 minute to go. Final play for the Warriors. The Dragons will have a set. What can they come up with? Canterbury's high, deep kick downfield. They let it bounce here, the Dragons. It's into the hands of Sloan. He's on his 10-metre line, but he returns it back over the 20. So they'll have about 75 metres to go here, the Dragons, if they can get something out in about 40 seconds. They come to the right. Flanagan gets it away to Corey Allen. Back to Flanagan. He takes the tackle, 27 away from his own goal line. There's 25 seconds left. The Dragons trail 14 points to 10. Left-hand side, Gutherson. They're going to spin it all the way. Sloan gets away to Fiinge. He had Tuapolotu on his outside, but he tries to take it. Bounces away from one. Gets an offload to Gutherson. Another offload. Backing up is Pacifici Tonga. They're still going here, the Dragons, and liking King Tonga will take the tackle 3 metres inside Warriors territory. The time is just about up. The siren goes. Buchanan loses it behind him. The Warriors fall on it. It's all over. The New Zealand Warriors win at home. Their first win in 4 games. 14 points to 10 over the Dragons, who were looking for 3 straight. And the Warriors will move back into the top 4. St George Illawarra's finals hopes are still alive, but they're flickering at best, especially losing 3 big players to HIAs. Hamish Stewart, Jack DeBellin and James Selly. It's finished 14 points to 10, the Warriors over the Dragons.
My first thought for that game is well done to the Dragons. It was a courageous effort, and I know we spoke about that a lot, the players that were down, but they hung in there right to the death. The Warriors did just enough to win, but very unconvincing.
MC, quick thoughts. We've got to get to the SFS.
Yeah, big win for the Warriors. They needed that one regardless of the way they got it. They got the job done.
We'll have plenty of reaction after your game, Spriggy, but it has finished the Warriors 14, the Dragons 10 in Auckland.
What a win for them. Thank you, Estee. And here we have a Friday night blockbuster at the Sydney Football Stadium. Thank you very much. High stakes footy in this final month of the NRL regular season. As 9th meets 3rd here tonight, and the Roosters have certainly got their attack together, fresh off scoring 64 points last week. They'll get a far sterner test tonight, you would think, against premiership aspirants, the Bulldogs. They got back on the winners list last week as well, and really every game, particularly big ones like this with the big stage on a beautiful Friday evening in the Moore Park precinct, are what it's all about in establishing Canterbury's title credentials. Connor Tracy is back in for them, and the Roosters have reshuffled their forward pack again, as they have done a few times in recent weeks. They have a square ledger at 10 wins and 10 losses, somewhat fitting, I suppose, of their season that's been very up and down. Whichever way you chop it up, Luke Lewis, it's just a massive game for both of these sides. Welcome again to you.
Yeah, great to be here, Spriggy, and obviously Johnny down there on the sideline looks amazing. It looks like a semi-final type game of football. The crowd is absolutely packed in. Looks so good. We had a great band playing, but I'm looking forward to this game. The Roosters playing some good football. They know what's on the line. They've got to continue to win no matter what. They've just got to win. The Bulldogs are looking to build their game for semi-finals. So, very interesting game. I think it's going to be a tight one, but I do believe there's a lot of points out there tonight. The way that the weather's held up, the field looks great. The ball movement early in the warm-up looked really, really good as well. So, I can't wait for this one.
The last time these sides met was round 11 at Stadium Australia. The Bulldogs won that 24-20, but came from 14-0 down at half-time. So some great recent battles. In fact, the result has swung, Louis, on the past 6 occasions these sides have met, and Canterbury, of course, won most recently in quite a tight game. So it's all ahead of us here tonight. You mentioned Connor Tracy back in and how important he is. Who holds the key, do you think, for either of these sides? The kickoff still 5 minutes away.
Oh, mate, there's so many keys, but obviously James Tedesco for the Roosters. He's been probably career best form, the way that he's been playing. Sam Walker, he just adds so much value to their attack as well with the Roosters. And for the Bulldogs, I think it's Matty Burton's kicking game. He's got to run a little bit more. Lockie Galvin, he's got to come into his own, but Connor Tracy adds so much value with his running game and his speed and the way that he brings the ball back. So he will be a huge plus for the Bulldogs.
You could argue for the Roosters, as much as their season overall has been quite inconsistent, very patchy sort of form, their attack, when it's on their day, is as good as any in the competition.
Oh, absolutely. And
Morning to ours, a hat-trick last week.
He's a freak. He's probably one of the best players I've seen on a footy field. We've got to remember he's only just started playing first grade this year in the NRL. It's quite mind-blowing. Well, he played a few games last year.
One last year.
But what he does on a football field is very, very special. And he's got a massive future in our game. I love watching him play. He scored 3 last week. But his skill is next level. But, look, this Rooster side, if they get it right, they're very hard to contain.
Marky Mark's fellow winger, Daniel Tupou, 179 career tries. He's 5th overall. He's one behind Steve Menzies on 180. So he's potentially going to go 4th, equal 4th all time if he does score a try tonight, or in fact go past it. But of course, he's just one example of the attacking options the Roosters have when they score points, as they did 64-12 last week. So I will get later on as well, once we wrap up here, and in fact I'll repeat at some point in the first half what the 3-2-1 Player of the Year points were from that early game at Mount Smart, where the Warriors 14 beat St George Illawarra 10. So Tracy back in for the Bulldogs, and Rena Karma is the one to miss out. He is their 18th man. What are the things the Bulldogs are still trying to work out, Louis? I mean, we spoke about how good their year has been. They bring in